disappeared from sight.
Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and I've got a spectacular show for you today. We have got a lot to cover through today. From the releases of this weekend that I think pretty much should have shocked you all, because I certainly was sitting back saying, really? To all the new stuff that we've gotten from the new set with all the new cards that came out. Everyone was absolutely going crazy for this new set of OP17. This is the community box, fully sealed, ready to go. At the end of the stream, we're going to be cracking this bad boy open for 2 of the packs as we give away our community box throughout the rest of the several coming weeks. The potential of earnings from these boxes have become lottery tickets, guys. These things are absolutely insane. You have cards that are worth $30,000-$40,000. They have expectation going even higher. You have other cards that you can get graded that of course will go even higher than that. You've got all these different new printings and specialties, and I gotta say, when it came to the ratio for the release event, I feel like it wasn't near as much as I was expecting to see. I mean, a lot of people got some great stuff, but it was not near as high as I've seen from previous releases, where it felt like every single table had 3 or 4 major winners. Where this one, there were some major winners, but it felt a little more spread out throughout the boxes. A lot more alt arts and other stuff that are pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to scoff at an alt art. I mean, that's some good value there, right? But I will say that, like, sometimes when you're looking for like the SPs and the mangas, most of the events we did before, like, we get some massive hits. We did get some good hits. I'm not saying they're not there. It's just, it seemed like every time I looked over, someone was just like trying to play the one-up game where, hey, look, I've got this alt art. Hey, I've got the SSP. I got the treasure rare. Hey, I got this manga. Hey, I got this special printing of the manga. It's like, it just seemed to escalate itself over and over and over again in the previous releases. This one, just seemed like there were some great cards that went around, but a lot more scarcely. And I gotta say, the hunger for this set right now is absolutely terrifying me. We are gonna go over some of the prices, and we're gonna talk some market watch. I am pleasantly surprised by some of the stuff I'm seeing online and some of the stuff I want to talk to you guys about. I think this is the fastest I've ever seen a game get out of FOMO. It's not completely out yet, but I will say that I think this is by far the fastest I've ever seen a market correct itself after 3 days of being on the market. And I'm wondering, are we going to see it keep going even lower, or are we going to start seeing some actual turn on that dip that usually happens after a couple weeks after the set settles and everyone gets their product and everyone gets what they're trying to play? Obviously, I'm going to be going over like the box tourney, the openings. I want to go over some specific plays and some specific times where I want to show you guys things learned, lessons learned, and stuff that I want to bring to you guys. As we played some new players, we played some veteran players, we played some situations where I feel like I love being able to look back after it and say maybe this was the right line or that was the right line. We're not going to go too in depth on every single match. I have so much to cover, you guys. We had 3 pre-release events, a single box event, tons of product to give away on each one of them. The box event was fantastic. I definitely want to go over the box opening with you guys, talk about some of the hits I was able to get from that box, and of course like showcase what people were building. I'm going to go over how I built my decks every single time. For the most part, if I drew halfway decent, the decks did pretty well. I will say that this one definitely had, I don't want to say more. I feel like I hate saying that because I always see these people say, oh, I drafted garbage, blah, blah, and they do pretty well. And there is a lot when it comes to limited that I really think emphasizes how you as a player play. And it is a level settler, but it is still adding more layers of luck to it. Whereas I feel it's funny where, as a competitive player, you play in the mainstream, you're trying to play your deck, there's a lot of layers of luck that you have to go into. Do I win a die roll? Do I get a good matchup for that die roll? Where are the matchups that I go? Do the people I beat go very well? And that's even more important when it comes to limited here, because we're holding 3 of these events and we only received 8 full promos for the top 8. Which would have been great if we were only holding 1 pre-release, but we were holding 3 to get as much of the product out to the players as possible. We at Lifelink Games like to do as much as we can to get product in the hands of the players. We do the box tournaments, which are phenomenal. It's a phenomenal thing that I think your LGSs should do. There's some drama that was hitting online about guys getting upset about us or other stores that were doing similar things, where we would sell a box essentially at MSRP, and then of course a little bit for the entry, because that would cover the packs that you were going to win after you played. Most people, like 99% of them that participate in this box tournament, know that they're there for the prizing, so they're there to play the game. And for the most part, it does a phenomenal job of separating the scalpers from the actual players, because the players will want to open, of course, and they're going to want to trade. So those scalpers that remained, if there were any at all, are the ones going to be selling singles. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I'd far prefer a pseudo scalper for singles that help people play the game than the people who scalp to take the boxes and do other things out there that really kind of get under my skin. I did find out some old news I'll talk about in a little bit later, but there is some stuff about the local area, about the way this product's been moving, that's kind of getting under my skin, about how some of the stores where that should be helping the community get more of the product out there, how they're handling the situation, and the backwards thinking that's going on. I know you guys, if you've been here a long time, I've seen that I go after some of the TikTokers or whatnot and store owners that like basically use some busted logic in order to justify joining the scalpers market and joining the thing that is literally quite possibly destroying the growth of this game. I don't want to go as far as to say the scalpers are ruining the game so no one can play, but I will say that they are certainly creating a barrier for entry for most people, that we at Lifelink Games and the 10% of the other stores across the US are doing our best as well to give you guys a product at MSRP and give you guys an opportunity to get the product in your hands so you can afford it. Because as anyone who's ever played these games, especially things that have a monetary investment to go into them first, there's things in layers called whales, where there's people who have a lot of money that just don't, like have more money than sense sometimes, but those individuals that can buy massive amounts of the product and can buy that out, and sometimes that actually is a deterrent to them because they buy the limited stock and supply. This isn't a digital game, so it isn't like you can have like infinite amount of supplies and the guys with money just buy more of them so they have more of the product. These actually are quite limited in how much they're willing to sell out there to everybody, and how limit to how much we as players can get access to. For the most part, the way printing's been done it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, the prices of the cards that are playable, very affordable, and the prices of the cards that are like Chase, very unaffordable, but still within a range where it's kind of rewards players. Like, I can trade at higher value if I want to trade. I can also, especially if I have like my favorite character versus your favorite character, same, we can sell things in, and there are things that like happen in life. This is one of the few hobbies in life you can have where if something goes wrong, if something like your car breaks down, you have a medical payment, you have a bill come up that you weren't surprised, you were a little shocked by, that you got to pay to make sure you're there, maybe you're missing close to your mortgage payment or something, you can sell some of the cards to your local game store, you can sell it to your friends, get some cash, and then pay off that debt, and then use it and still have the game pieces you need to play the card game, which is ultimately, in my eyes, probably some of the best marketing of these things as possible. I think it's great to have my own product, and it's great to have the ability to kind of get out of bad situations, well, and be rewarded for being a collector / player of the game. iCherub says, yeah, it was nice being able to open a box and trade. I was able to get my whole deck built besides 2 secret rare Lokis I needed. iCherub, well, first off, congratulations, well done. Yes, this weekend was a huge success. I was able to finish all 3 of the decks that I was actually intending on playing in this next format. I had to buy some singles from Lifelink game in the FOMO market, but honestly, Lifelink has done such a amazing job of looking after us for the MSRP boxes that I don't care if I lose money giving them for some singles that I want, especially the Lifelink games. But that's going to be a thing that I think you want to understand. I'll only give that to Lifelink games. I will not use that and be like, well, I'm going to go over to the separate store that I know scalps these or sells at market and then buy their singles. In fact, I'll probably just not buy their singles at all and just not buy anything from them if I see that they're gouging the prices, because I'm not going to encourage the behavior of selling these things outside of people's price range. Like, it's sickening that a lot of Americans out there that have to deal with all the LGSs that are supposed to be there for the players are not designing the game for the players. They're not making it affordable for the players, because by and large, I'm sure that most of you guys understand, I'm preaching to the choir here, not all of us can afford a $400 box of one of these things that can't even give us all the cards we need. In fact, if I need to get all the uncommon and commons for every single archetype from this deck, I'm going to need at least 2 of these cards, or 2 of these boxes. So that's $800 just for the baseline for commons and uncommons. When it comes to rares, I'm getting pretty close. Around 3 boxes, I've made a play set of all the rares with extras, of course, because we're now moving into the extra side, and some extra stuff to trade away. Now I'm at $1,200 for 3 set boxes to get myself a playset of uncommons, a playset of commons, a good set of SRs where I'm close to finishing some decks in most of the decks, but I'm not quite there yet. I maybe have some hits I can do some trading to get those other pieces. Maybe I have some stuff where I've got massive hit and I can get some more money to buy those singles and get those things and do whatever I can with that to kind of get the collection together. But guys, look at it. I mean, this is what we're talking about. $1,200 is more than some people's mortgage payments, especially if you're really old and have like a really cheap house. I don't have that luxury. I am old, but I didn't get that luxury of $1,200. But $1,200 is like a mortgage payment, guys. It's more than a car payment. It's more than anything else. And those are usually the biggest payments we have out of our land. Now, that's just even if you're able to get these things at certain values at certain times, because I'm telling you right now, if you look at the trend of all the anniversary sets that have gone in the past, these things are just going to keep going up. Sadly, these are the one things that don't kind of come down after everyone comes out, especially sealed product. They don't go down in value. They don't go down in price. Sealed will just keep going up, because as more boxes get opened, less are available, less product available. If you guys know supply and demand, less supply, high demand, the price goes up, and it will keep going up, and it will keep going up for however much as what someone is going to be willing to pay for the box, because the seller obviously does want to move said product. So if they put it up too high, no one's going to buy it. But if they put it at a reasonable price, it seems to get the most amount of buyers. It's all supply and demand, guys. This is how this is how our society has worked for hundreds of years. But you get my point, right? The more these things get opened, the less of them on the stock, and they're going to keep going up. And these boxes are almost guaranteed to go and match that of the white boxes from the first anniversary set and the rest of them. Why? Because they're lottery tickets in this. The cards that you are getting from here have a potential of giving you enough to buy a car straight out. you could potentially pull a very lucky lottery ticket, but you could buy a car with the value of what these things base rarity, not even graded, base rarity is available on this. So what does that mean? People are going to be chasing that stuff like the old South Park episode where gotta catch the dragon, almost got me, almost got me, almost got me. And I'm sure some of you guys are going to be out there wanting to get it. I hope the best of luck to you, but I want you guys to live within your means. Please live within your means. Please don't go outside of it. Don't put more money than you can afford to. Don't put these things on credit cards. Don't put these things on the thing where you're going to be paying interest rates that are going to put yourself at like $4,000 or $5,000 when originally it was just $1,200. By the way, that's around the price of a case for 3 boxes for market right now. Uchiha says, $1,200 to have a privilege of playing the game makes my stomach want to do bad things. Yeah, I agree with you. That's if you're forced to have to buy market. Now, I'll get to our coverage of Lifelink games on how we've made that $1,200 just disappear. Isamol says, simply pull an SP Luffy, bro, right? Just pull an Luffy. It's simple. It's good to go. Isamol says, or manga leader Luffy seems pretty common to me. Yeah, right? Actually, Isamol, on the comment about the manga leader Luffy, I do have something I want to tell everybody. We had the craziest thing happen this weekend. In the 6-pack event, one of our players from Harrisonburg came over the mountain, got the 6-packs, got super excited because she showed off she got the manga leader. We're like, oh, it exists, we've seen it, the manga Luffy leader, it's so good. And it looks, guys, and I have pictures of it on here. I'm going to show it to you guys here on one of my videos here, because I was able to get some video capture of her getting it. I actually got the like to play her round 1 and she was kind of like showing me this card, and I was like, you already won. Like, I don't even know why you're here. You won. You've won everything. But I'm glad she stuck around, because Lifelink Games decided to give away a raffle for a free box at the end of Friday night's release. So a big raffle for all the players that were there, where everyone was given an opportunity to get a chance of a free box. This is a $400 value, of course. At our price, it's like around $125, I think is what we're selling these things at MSRP. But a $125 value in the raffle went away, and it got to, of course, her boyfriend or husband. Guys, correct me in the chat, I can't remember the relationship, but I know that they were in a relationship. He was the winner. He said, hey, you were the one to help me pull here. I'm gonna give you half the stack. I'm gonna take this half the stack. They open these things up at home. In her stack, she gets a second copy of the manga leader Luffy and puts that thing in the chat. She was able to not pull just 1, but 2. And when it comes to luck, sometimes, guys, like sometimes some people have it and some people don't. But congratulations to her. I can't wait to showcase this. I will go over that video clip of, I got many to go through, but yes, 2 manga Luffys, leader Luffys went to there. Now, ironically, on top of that, while these things are supposed to be incredibly rare, incredibly farther out than your regular manga, I didn't hear one person peep up about a manga pull. Not one manga pull. 4 Emperors, manga across the board. I saw almost every single SP hockey, which were gorgeous. I saw the treasure rares. I saw all the alt arts, every single one. I saw every single SP that was that gold lettering, the circle, that really beautiful $1,000 SP card. I've seen every single one that was available pulled this weekend. Spread across to all the people that pulled packs, because we opened up cases upon cases, guys. We were giving these things like insane. Not one person stood up and said they got a manga. The manga Luffy, yeah, the Baki Kaido, I saw that one pulled. Not one person was like, got the manga, and we're like, where is it? I don't know. I don't know. It could be in our community box, guys. It legitimately could be in this community box, where I'm going to be opening up and giving away 2 packs from this every single time I go live until this box is empty. Every single hit goes to you. That's why I love these community boxes, because it guarantees some of you at home are going to be walking away with the 3 to even 4 hits that these boxes have. That's massive winning, and it costs you absolutely nothing but an exclamation point join. And in chat, if you're new, if you're not like the rest of you guys, as soon as you chat, I put your name in the list. Don't worry, I know who you are. We've probably already sent cards to you. I've already sent your prizes before, so don't worry. I know I'll make sure that just even coming back, if I've seen you multiple times, I'll just add your name just for commenting. Uchiha says, is the world's best co-host I see? Oh yes, Kai, and she just walked away, of course. Good timing. I Cherub says, lol, like 2 alt art manga Luffy leaders. Yeah, it's That's insane. Uchiha says, maybe this is a good thing that we're not going live at Lifelink anymore. You would have blown out the microphone. Honestly, if you guys would have heard the craziness and the way that that thing blew up, yeah, I'm pretty sure no one would watch my channel anymore. It would just be this loud, constant, yip, yap, yap, all over the place in the background. And it's just absolutely insane. So, Little Poundcake, good to see you. Bob64, good to see you. Thank you so much for the exclamation point join. Yep, that is the way to get in there. Also, don't forget, you can come on YouTube like Michael is doing here. I got to catch up on some chats over here. You can enter twice by entering on YouTube because we are simultaneously live on YouTube and on Twitch, where both are going to help my algorithm. I need some help getting there, so if you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube to help me get up there, I need a lot of people to subscribe. I've got more watch hours than necessary, but I also got to get my shorts up and everything else. But going up to Michael says, totally fine with the Luffy manga being expensive. That thing is frustrating me is that I can't easily go out and buy cards. It's not the prices so much as that bothers me, but the availability. That is another issue because the money is in the sealed collection stuff, the stuff that we do sealed. It is kind of annoying trying to find some pieces. Well, I will say, Streamako says, this set has been pretty nuts. I went to 3 pre-releases. The first one, 27 people. Second, 59. Third, 57. 3 different stores. Wow. Streamako, we made 3 back-to-back capped. We had to kick people out. We went 64, 64, 64, 64. Now, I said 3, and that was 4 64s. But we had a box tournament on the early Saturday that had 64 people, and that sold out. We had to put people out of the store because they were just too many people signed up. We couldn't even accommodate our entire player base because the things got filled up so fast. It was an absolute nutty weekend, craziness all around. Everyone was trying to get that coveted Lego Luffy winter card. Congratulations to those people that won that, by the way. Great performance. I'm sorry that to a lot of players that did very well and just didn't get those percentage tiebreakers to come away with the winner version of that card. It kind of sucks. It's kind of like if Bandai's out there and you're listening, if you could give stores that hold multiple pre-releases more of those promos, we'd really appreciate it. I know that, I guess it goes against your what do you want to call it? I mean, we're a premium store for One Piece, but you could give us more of those promos so we can give all of top 8, every single one, the Lego Luffy. Would you only allow us to 8 copies of that card? That would work good for one night, but then what do we do for the other 2 events? And again, the most important thing about release events is getting as much product in the hands of the players as possible. So don't think that I'm asking out of like selfishness. I didn't like the fact that I had to give our top 8 undefeated only the first 3, and then 2 of the Luffy's, where these people did a phenomenal job of going undefeated and did a great job of building these really cool decks and some expert game. Like the gameplay was phenomenal, but I didn't like not being able to give 8, 8, and 8 as we should have been for every single release, where some stores are capped to like 1 event, but we're not. So could you possibly give us more prize support to help us get those extra prizes out to those individuals? We were maxed out. We're still getting way more than, and we have more space for more people. So if you want to raise the bar again for us, we'd love it, because that just helps us get more of this product out to people at the affordable price. Bob64 by the way, do you say you're live on YouTube? I am, Bob64. I'm live on YouTube as well. I always go live. It's Humbro Pie OP. I have several different channels on YouTube. OP is the One Piece channel. Riftbound is RB. The Humbro Pie, just the baseline Humbro Pie, is for Magic the Gathering, because that's where I thought I was going to take the channel initially, and it definitely took a complete turn through the way their community started playing out. I've had to pivot away from most of my Magic content. It's just the local area has been a drama fest. One of these days when I have like a talk to you guys, I'll give you guys the down low on the drama that happened with Magic that forced me out of Magic in this local area, through all this nonsensical drama that shouldn't have happened. Getting back to some comments here on YouTube, we have even the LGS wants to be there for the players, the producers of the cards, Bandai, Wizards, Nintendo, etc. They're all supporting the LGSs. Why do we see Ace Hardware when I Google Pokemon sets? That's a good question. I'm really not that keen on the big box stores having this stuff. I am honestly growing on Target having access to these boxes, and mostly just because they're doing a very good job of limiting how much they sell to distribute to as many people as possible. I like having more product out there, and I like that they're one of the few options that have MSRP available. I'm not a fan of the way Walmart handles it. I think it's gross, and they should not have the privilege to sell those cards because they don't know how to limit, and they let these scalpers kind of ruin the entire market by allowing them to buy out. And if you would have given that stock to someone, say Lifelink Games, we would have made sure that all the players who need the product and wanted the product would get it, because we go to so many extra steps to ensure the players of your card game get the best price for the game. And when you sell it to Walmart, who does literally no QA/QC, you get product theft, you get stuff like the scalpers being able to corner a market, create artificial scarcities. They create this idea of where like it just like you basically are forced to have to go on Facebook Marketplace if you even want to get any, because we'll sell out incredibly fast, which is kind of annoying, but that's just the case. We only get so much. Bob64, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate that. From YouTube, thank you. That helps a lot, Bob64. Don't forget, yep, and the exclamation point join. Good, I'll have you on there twice. Live from YouTube, yes, Little Pound Cake says, you never seem to be like you were forced out of Magic. And I'm still playing Magic Uchiha. The forced is content-wise. The content for what we were trying to do for Magic was where I was kind of forced out. I couldn't actually get anything going because of the drama that was around the dual commander leagues, the competing stores around us, the constant backstabbing and drama behind the scenes, and all the stuff where people were they were just taking shots at the store. They were doing things to sabotage our events. They were doing things to push things aside. And sadly, I have people that liked my dual commander content. I loved my dual commander content. I sadly can't do it anymore because we can't even get a player base anymore. It got so incredibly toxic within the community that it actually exploded and destroyed the entirety that is the player base for the Magic the Gathering. Now each store is struggling to get 6 people to show up at FNM, and the only time that we ever see an excessive amount of people coming up for Magic is during pre-releases. That's it. It is impossible to get any of these events to kick. We have massive tournaments with hundreds to thousands of dollars of prizing, and we might get like 24 people for our 112 spot tournament that even show up. And it's pathetic. And most of that is from people literally up from Nova, up from over in Harrisonburg, up down south in Roanoke. And we have all these people that will come out to our tournaments. We'll have 2 locals maybe participating in those events, maybe 2. And this is not just the case here at Lifelink Games, it's at all the stores. They have stores where they can't even fire their RCQs because they didn't have enough people to attend them. Like they won't even get 6 or 4 for people. They'll have the store tournaments that are having that time. They won't get 4 people. It was so incredibly toxic here that it actually just blew up the entire Magic community, and most people just kind of like scattered into the other games going forward. Michael says, yeah, he and I play often. There are a ton of toxic people here locally. Yep, that's pretty much it, Michael. Bob64 says, even Walmart employees aren't immune. The scalpers bribed the MJ Holdings vendor, and now they know their schedule. The product is back toured before it even hits the shelf. Yeah, Bob64 is 100% right. I guess Little Pound Cakes, you could become a Walmart employee. That is an option. I'm not a big fan of these big box stores running these things if they're not willing to understand exactly what this market is and what it is that they're selling. I really don't like that Walmart has these people that are reseal packs. They'll reseal tins. They'll come with those little gotcha things where they're selling older stuff that could sell in a new package and trying to get your money out of you that way by inserting randomness cards. Those things are always a scam. Those things will always rip you off, guys. Never get into those. Never buy those. I don't like the secondary market that they work on. If you guys have ever been on the Walmart.com, you'll often run into these things that are selling bulk of some sort. Most of those players are very in tune with what they're selling. They know what they're doing. If you think you have a deal, you don't. You do not. They will put in glitter something like this in front of your face and be like, "Woo, you could get this," and this is never even in those boxes. Everything else is let's see, I got some blue stuff here. Every other box is sitting full of these bulk things that they've got in their bulk and they don't know what to do with. Like all those boxes are just hundreds and hundreds of these things going, I got all these bulk because I opened all the packs and I already sold the hits. What do I do with it? And they go to Walmart and they're like, Walmart, what do I do? And Walmart's like, hey, you can rebundle it and resell it to the people so you can get massive profit from these bulk rare cards that you got. And then all you got to do is take a picture of this and be like, what? You can win this. You can win. You'll never win, but you could. And it's annoying. It's annoying. I hate that they have that, and there's like bulk sellers on Walmart, and they'll like throw a card out there and say that this thing's worth like I think like $90 or $80 somewhere on there. I think it's like $80, and they'll be like they'll put this out there and be like $150 for bulk in this card, and you're like, holy crap, that's like half the value of the thing. I gotta get it. And once you get it, it's literally commons and uncommons in this card. Yay! You just $80 over the value of that one card so they could move the bulk on you and pass it back your way. Congratulations. Guys got to be very careful with some online sales, especially when it comes to Walmart. They don't vet the people that sell in their stores. The same thing like neither does I think Amazon does a better job, but they're definitely, in my opinion, they're as bad as Facebook at monitoring what gets sold in their name online. So be very, very careful with those stores. Let's see. Michael says, I'm one of the toxic people. No, you're not even close. He also says, also, none of the toxic players are anybody of either of these chats. Yeah, none of the toxic players, they won't even mess with me. So I'm not really that worried about the toxic people. Those people will never come into my chat. They ruined it. And honestly, it comes down to, we had a good thing going. We had a good opportunity to have 3 massive tournaments here, and we could have had an amazing community, and you ruined it. You ruined it for yourself. You ruined it with your toxicity, and I will forever say that it was always your fault. And I can go down in the record book with documented text and documented videos and recordings and conversations with you guys that I definitely recorded because I was making sure I had my own butt covered when I talked to you guys. Yeah, you were the toxic ones, and I got all the evidence to prove it. Uchiha says, could have fooled me about the Walmart. The Walmart in Charlottesville have such a good stock, little stock of anything TCG related. I'm convinced they simply don't care. Uchiha, they sell out the minute they hits a shelf. Just like I believe it was Bob64 was out there saying that they map out the transportation and the deliveries of these Walmarts. So by the time that even hits a shelf, none of us real players actually have an opportunity to get the product. It just doesn't happen. It's just not there. The product has already been taken by all the scalpers. They're the ones on Facebook Marketplace right now in your local area selling these boxes for $400, selling sleeves that they've probably weighed. I'm not kidding. You can get a scale, and especially with some of the hits in here, you can know which ones have the hits and which ones don't. And they probably scaled it and opened the ones with the hits, and then they sell in all the bulk that they don't want, and they want you to rip you guys off on it. So when it comes to the reason I don't like big box stars like Walmart and where I like Target is because Target is at least willing to segregate the collection of them. They separate how many people can buy them. They make sure that like you can't repeat buy. They go above and beyond of making sure that they divvy out the amount of product that goes to everybody, and it's always at a reasonable price. There are some prices I do want to argue that are a little bit too high, but that's not near as bad as $400 for this box. Michael says, I wasn't saying I was one of the toxic players. You said there were 2 local people that played in the RCQs, and I'm one of the 2. Yes. So I'm sorry. I've misinterpreted what you were talking about. Yes, Michael is one of the local players. Sometimes I'll attend those things in the right format. But it'll be just the 2 of us, me and Michael, at the locals playing with everybody else that's outside of this ring. Riftbound has kind of absorbed a lot of those players, which I find it funny. I always thought that Riftbound, the video game, obviously full of toxic people, we all know it. It's fine. That's what it is. It's online. If you guys like that kind of stuff, that's a game for you. It exists. That's your world. Have fun. You live in it. And I thought for sure when they made a card game that it was just going to be the same thing. And when all those toxic people decided they were going to pick up Riftbound, let's just say I wasn't surprised. Still a fun game. I'm not crapping on Riftbound. I think that there's some balancing issues and there's a lot of stuff that these guys need to do if they really want to make themselves a dominant card game in the meta. There's a lot they need to do when it comes to distribution. A lot of lessons they're learning right now that are just not healthy. But eventually they may figure it out. And if they do, they're going to be right up there with Magic the Gathering, if not higher. So hats off to them. It's a decent game. I think it plays a lot like the video game, which is surprising. But I'm not a fan of the balancing issues that game has. It's kind of disgusting. So, hey, maybe they'll fix it someday, and I'll come right back to it. Now, guys, we're going to be getting into some of the spoilers of this new OP18. Yes, we just got 17. Yes, we just got this amazing product that we're all hoping to get these amazing cards from. But let's talk about 18. Seriously, I know sometimes that Bondi will send reps in here to listen to me talk. If you get this, if you're rewatching this, Bondi, let the set breathe, please. I understand you want to do announcements. I understand the hype is real. Magic the Gathering is hurting with this strategy. It is hurting a lot. We can't enjoy the product before the next thing comes out. I understand that's how you're going to make money. You can do that with special edition sets. You can bring back our PRB sets as a midterm set to make some more money. We'd all love that. You can bring in these alternative illustration boxes and other ways to get packs. We're okay with that. Promo boxes, double packs, tins. Love those tins. I love those tins. All that stuff, you could throw that in there. That's fine. Keep the distro that you have at it. Keep it out there because it's enough for us to recover between each set to buy the product and get that from you. But please, if it's the release weekend of the new set we have all been hyped for, and all of us have been building decks for, and all of us have been on the sim practicing, and all of us have been desperately hoping to see what it likes to open these boxes, please let it air. Let us enjoy the set before you throw in spoilers at us of the next new thing. Like, come on. I like what you're doing. I like the stuff. But I haven't even played with this yet. I want to play with this. Then I can look forward to playing with something else. Let me get bored of this before you're like, haha, next shiny thing. Like, I hadn't even been able to get past the box when I'm getting spammed. I like it though. I love the spam. But I'm spammed with all the social media of all the amazing new stuff that's coming out in 18 and the EBO 5 set and all the stuff for the heroines. And I was like, oh, this looks so good. Wait a minute. I haven't even built and played my deck with this stuff yet. Why are you telling me about the stuff I can have that's months down the road? The Punkcase says, let the Rock show me the new stuff. All right, fine. You could do both, though. You can do both. You can. But it gives me the vibes of Magic the Gathering that is killing its player base by coming out with too much too fast. And I'm not just talking about, like, too much. Like, if you would stick to the tins, the illustration boxes, the double packs, the really cool Altar Dawn, and those little promos and stuff like that, if you stuck to that, in between all this stuff, I promise you keep selling money. You're going to keep selling, you're going to keep selling out, and you're going to make a ton of money in between there. Don't increase the speed of which you're releasing the stuff of these new sets and everything, because the people in Magic the Gathering are getting so disenfranchised. The game is technically dying, and if anybody that wants to take a real look at the player base counts and the player base numbers nationwide, you will see that outside of your lottery boxes of Collector Booster, the game's kind of dying because people can't keep up. It's an impossible game because you're coming out with too much too fast, and it's been a complaint for the last 2 years. Don't make the same mistake that Magic the Gathering is doing. They're going to recover this year. They got less sets, not enough, but they have less. Hopefully the following year they'll get even less sets and go back to a normalcy here. But the rapid pace of what things are coming out, you can't even enjoy your pieces before you're getting stuck with the new thing, and the new thing's more powerful than the old thing, and it's just it creates an undesirable effect. And this is something that was learned through the gacha games that I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with on your cell phone games, where they came out with too much content too fast. A power crept the last thing. People were getting like, I just bought the last thing and now that thing's outclassed. Why am I spending money on the last thing if I should just, it creates this wave of disgust. it'll destroy whales. You're going to lose all of them, which to some degree could help the scalping problem, because if they can't buy it, then no one else is buying those boxes at that price. But it does kill your whales, it does kill a lot of your big investors, and it does kill a lot of people playing the game. And once all those people leave the game, you don't have a game. So don't get to the situation where you play so much that there's no player base in which to cater to, because at the end of the day, while the market does market things, there's no market without a player base. Bob64 says, yeah, too much power creep, too fast, too expensive to keep up. Exactly, Bob64. That is the problem that Magic the Gathering is coming through right now. It's too much, it's too fast. I can't even sit there with like, get a deck ordered on TCG Player, and by the time I get cards, the deck's already dead. They already got the brand new thing. And it's infuriating. Uchiha says, this is the most sober drunk man rant I've ever heard in my life. I appreciate that. Bondi, if you're listening to the conversation, just apply to One Piece. I will not elaborate, but you know what I'm talking about. Yes, print more for the other guys too. Only Doombot does talking about some of the new spoilers I will get into in just a minute. And Michael says, I think I might understand the Commander 60 card is pretty dead, but how is Commander doing? So for Commander, honestly, it's always going to be a legacy game, and it's going to be how people kind of like move themselves into a format. When things are too fast and things are coming at you so rapid pace, you're going to kind of like go into like what we call like a gamer hobbit hole. You're going to play the game the way you feel like you can afford to keep up in. And then honestly, Commander is the most affordable way to keep playing Magic the Gathering. You only need one of the card. Sometimes when a new set drops, you only need like maybe one, maybe three of the cards that drop. That means that you have to buy the 3 singles, and guess what? You're done. That's it. You're kept up with the meta. Your deck's got upgraded with those new cards. You're playing everybody else's new stuff. There's very little for you to need to invest in. You don't have to buy boxes upon boxes. You don't have to buy the collector boosters. You don't have to buy the new structure decks that they have for the commanders that are coming out. You don't have to buy all the scene boxes and all the random stuff that they're throwing out there. You just got to get those 3 cards. You're good to go. So for Commander will survive. The problem with Commander is that's not a format that's good for the game as a business owner. It is phenomenal for the player base as a player. As a business owner, your business will tank if those are the only people playing your game. Because you're never going to sell anything. And you're never going to make your money, and you're not going to make enough to warrant the amount of people buying the boxes. The 60 card formats are what spend people to buy more boxes because you need 4 copies of those cards. They're incredibly hard to get, and the prices of them are incredibly high. Those 60 card formats are what drive the constant buying of new boxes. The standard is what drives the new sets. The modern is what drives the new the constant growth of these collector boosters and legacy for collector boosters. Those 60 card formats are what driving the sales of this outside of the crypto bros and the scalpers. That's what's driving that. If the 60 card formats die, you lose a substantial amount of your player base, and not just that, you're losing the buyers. And then your product just becomes something where you could just easily, thanks for the follow, JFE, appreciate it. JP, hi, good to see you. Please hit exclamation point join for your chance to win one of the 2 free packs we're giving away at the end of the stream. And also, join my Discord. That way I can get you, let's see, copy the link here. Get you, if you do win, I have some way to contact you. Haven't ripped any. Oh, well, this could be your night to see some. We got a lot to open up. And this could be your chance to win one of the free packs. The J Free, new here. Every single pack that comes from this box goes to one of you as my viewers, either on YouTube or on Twitch. I give away 2 packs every time I go live. Every single pack is going to one of you. So that means whatever's in here, could be manga, could be anything, could be SP. Every single one of those hits goes to one of you every time I go live. So, and it's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. No subscription, just exclamation point join. And it's a great opportunity, and I send it to you for free too. No shipping. It's all there. All right, guys, like I said, we're gonna go over some of the new reveals. It's my puggers. All right, puggers, come in here. I have ripped quite a few from the release weekends, Jay Free. I've ripped a box for the box tournament that we're gonna cover here later in the stream. I did 3 different pre-releases at the store, so 6 packs each of one of those, and played the card game. And I've gotten like some winter packs and stuff like that, so that's all I have. Hey, what do you plan on playing OP17? Stick around, Mr. Puggers. I have all 3 of my decks for OP17 already built, and I will be covering those after the break, my first break, when we come back. It won't be that long. It'll be about 30 minutes, so stick around. I do have all 3 of the decks already built, put together last night, sleeved, got the the only thing I'm working on is like working in special. I have Dawn, but I'm trying to specialize the Dawn for each one of these decks, but I have them completely built, ready to go, and I'm ready to start testing them on paper to see what I'm going to play for the Flame Fruit that comes up next month. Jayfrey says, I'm about to take some notes. Please do, Jayfrey. This is a learning channel. I like to teach people how to play the game, how to play limited, how to do get good at the game. There's a lot of things about today that we're going to cover, some mistakes that new players made, some things where I wanted lessons learned, and some things that I need to teach everyone. There are fundamental things you do in this game that you have to always avoid, and they're for these reasons. And I have real live examples in some of my gameplay today of people making these critical mistakes that will cost you games unnecessarily. And we could cover that when we get to that later, to cover those games. Only Diomon says, I just started playing Magic and, with Final Fantasy. I have a Cloud Precon and I upgraded it with no equipment. I like the Voltron playstyle. I wish I could get some of the lands were cheaper. That's the biggest part of Magic. The lands are always what makes it so expensive. River, good to see you. Thank you so much for the comment. Miss Parker says, I feel like the set is so hard locking a deck for an event like a regional, and decks feel strong. They really do, especially in this one, Mr. Puggers. This set had, I think I just got done with my tier list. Do I still have that open? I'm going to go to this real quick. I'm going to show you guys my tier list of my expectations for this format and what I'm expecting. And bear in mind, there's some likelihood I'm actually quite off on some of these decks. So the last video I did from last Wednesday, I covered my tier list of my expectations for OP17. Right off the bat, red is going to be very dominant until people start realizing they need to come up with more protection and ways to stall the game out better and play pieces that stall the game out. But I think while everyone's learning the new decks, while they're still learning all the new combos, these two decks are going to be quite far. And by the way, this deck is an elbow deck. This means you're playing the Luffy Elbaf package in the Sabo. It is by far stronger in Sabo based on its capability. I mean, you lose the blocker capability, but trust me, it is significantly stronger in the Sabo build here. And it gets over some of the critical holes that this deck has when it comes to Dawn allocation and 5k attacks not really being all that good in the late game. And I'll explain why in a little bit. But this was a list I came up with, so you guys want to take a snippet of this, check it out. I'm gonna get him banned. I'm excited for the tier list. Oh, I'll have to check that chest. Please don't get me banned. No, but we have the list. This is the first two. I think Rocks by far is one of the strongest decks coming out there. When the cloud settles, these decks will still be good, but these decks will be infinitely more prepared for this matchup and start getting themselves ready for it. If you're a fan of any of these decks that are here, get prepared to play against these red decks and prepare yourself for the rush down ahead of time, because the first couple weeks we're guaranteed to see these guys putting up more results and better results until people start figuring out what the meta really is. Know that we are caught up with Japan, so we're still waiting for the West to finally get up with their deck list and find out their tune. Of course, we have our own. Sorry guys, 1 second. I'm gonna try and get my notifications down. So we are caught up with the West, so we gotta wait for their stuff. We gotta wait for our stuff. We don't have anything to look at in the meta right now, so we have to build this on our own. So that means we're gonna be doing the trial and error with them at the same time. So while we're doing trial and error and we're fine tuning our decks, a lot of these decks are going to get and evolve over the next couple of weeks to cover for this meta here and the lack of information we used to have. Back in the day, for those that are new, the format was kind of like almost pretty much solved before we got into it. It wasn't perfect. We still found niches and holes in the format, and we play differently in the East than they do in the West. But it was pretty much solved on what the cards to use and what cards to be played, and we'd have that well in advance with these people. We don't have that anymore. That luxury is gone. So that means we're going to be doing a lot of the same stuff that I experienced in Magic, where we get a new set, people play out new combos, they play out these new things that I thought was really cool, and they got these new 2-card combos, and red deck would just be like, I hate you in the face, I hit you in the face, you're dead. And they just win because while you're trying to do things and you're trying to learn things, red's just like, I hit you in the face, you're dead. I swing and I hit you in the face, you're dead. And that's what red's good for. It's what it's known for. It's a play style that a lot of people enjoy. So don't crap on it. Just know that it's every time we go through a rotation, red is going to win in the early stages pretty predominantly because people are still trying to figure these decks out and get their good 50 built up here. Jay says, gotcha. Geez, I never played. Gotta choose a leader too hard. Yeah, this format is really diverse. That's what I really enjoy. Mr. Pugger says, also Rox has is a slash leader. Is it really? Oh, yeah, he is a slash leader. Ugh. Good call. That should put me up here a little bit higher. Well, that's why Mihawk's on it there. So Mihawk is a 6K power leader. Yeah, this one right here, the reason Mihawk's ahead of the Shanks is because it does have that advantage. I'd like this still in the top because the Shanks package is extremely powerful. It wins other matches that I think Mihawk can struggle in. I think, honestly, this is the best answer to most of the red stuff here, whereas this Mihawk is okay. It's fine, but it actually does have more weaknesses to the red decks than Shanks has. But when it comes compared to these other decks, it has a better chance of beating these. So it's really hard to build the trifecta list here. It's like these guys are going to be dominant. He beats these guys, but these guys can beat these guys. And this is an annoying deck that wins because you annoyed your opponent to death. You didn't actually win the game. You should feel ashamed of yourself for playing this deck. This is an annoying deck. This is an L 2.0. And we all know that you just like seeing your opponent suffer and seeing how many life you can get to while absolutely doing nothing to contribute to the game. You guys feel the bias in the air? Monkey Luffy, this package is still pretty good, but it's so much better in Sabo. And the rest of these cards, guys, I don't like this glass cannon. I think this loses because you end up not seeing the right ramp at the right time. I don't like red defense. That doesn't make any sense, but the cards in it are insane. The ability of this leader is insane. It is really good. I'm just not a fan of red defense. It doesn't make sense. It's counterintuitive to how these decks play. And the rest of these decks, that's just how I see it. Little Pancake said, we are the West, by the way. Oh, that's right. Not bad. Thank you for correction, Little Pancake. It's a rock, paper, scissors meta between Rocks, Mihawk, and Bo. Yeah. I like that. Like, we got the rock, paper, scissors here. The way that these things work out. That's good. I don't discredit the rest of these decks because they're going to be seeing a lot of flame. And I promise you'll probably still be seeing some of these guys in this meta as well. I've heard some people still bringing a Nell back in. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, if you see something I don't, good on you. I mean, I've never been 100% perfect in getting the best decks for the format. I just don't feel like this deck has a winning position when most people playing and trying the new decks and the new formats are going to have this in mind and going to have the hate pieces for now. When the hate pieces move out, yeah, bring them back. Bring these guys back. Mr. Parker says, I don't see purple, yellow Nico Robin here, but she is really doing well with the new Linlin stuff. Oh. It wasn't available. Sadly, I'm stuck with whatever this website gives me. It wasn't an available option. If it was an option for me, I put it up here in A tier. I like it. Big fan. The Banish is insane. It's really good. Little Anel and Goofy are still doing great at the moment because no one's running the 2-cost tech yet. Oh, really? Interesting. All right. Well, if they're not running it, if they're not going to put it in their deck, then push these guys up. Like, if the meta says I'm not playing with the weenie killers, the 2-for-1 killers, and all of the 2-for-1 killers that prevent you from being able to get something to even protect your board before you 2-for-1 in your opponent, like, then put these guys up here. Put them up. The only reason I had them here was because I expected everyone to start playing baseline, like whatever One Piece kind of gave you, because every single one of these decks has 2-for-1s for these decks. Every single one of them has that. This one has 3 2-for-1s for these decks. This one has 2 to 3, depends on how you use it, for these decks. This one has multiple copies to kill these decks. And this deck doesn't even do anything. Just gains life and annoys your opponent. Mihawk obviously using some of the pieces here, but their own pieces do have plenty of answers. And plus these guys, oh my gosh, don't even get me started on red. Red it has the perfect answer for this. Yeah. All right, so I did say we're going to go over the card reveals. Let's get to the card reveals. So, starting off here, under the rules of the game, you cannot include cards without WT100 type in your deck. When attacking, you may discard 1 card from your hand, reveal 2 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 to your hand, and trash the rest. This seems pretty strong. Rainbow Leader, WT. Is this? So, there's been some stuff going around. Like, is this going to be like new rules and ways of playing the limited format? Is this a new limited game that they're coming out with? This Rainbow Luffy looks incredibly strong, but I'm just curious what this is going to be. It might be a new format kind of thing, and that's what I'm thinking. This is probably going to be introducing a new form and way to play the One Piece card game, because I don't know what the WT100 means yet, like what you're going to be limited to. But sincerely, the attack power is insane. Digging 2 cards deep and getting the card you want every single turn, incredibly good. 5 life leader, you can play any of the colors you want. This opens up so many different possibilities. I've always wondered what One Piece would look like outside of a limited format where you could do constructed with rainbow colors, like just rainbow good stuff. Like, what does a rainbow good stuff deck look like? What are the best 1-drops, the best 3-drops, 5 and 6 drops, 7 and 8 drops, 9 and 10 drops? Like, what are the best of the best that would make the tier list of everyone being able to play whatever they wanted with whatever deck? What would be the best spot for each one? That would be such a cool game to play, personally, in a limited portion, of course, but just the concept of pick the best of the best cards and put them in those spots and make a theme somehow. WT100 says, Parker says, WT100 is the top 100 ranked popular characters in the One Piece that was a poll in Japan. So, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm sorry, that does, yeah. But that would mean that the type of card would have to have it down here based on the rulings of the game. Congratulations to the Cracker guy. I mean, he bought 900 volumes of the manga so we could get Cracker at 21. So Cracker is guaranteed in the set. And Mr. Pugger says the deck will include the deck top 50 in the deck. Oh, nice. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, I can't wait. That means we're going to have so many good reveals. I like it. All right, this one was probably by far my biggest hype one. I cannot wait to see what this does. I've been looking right now at the wisdom cards and like the things that we can add for some kind of like interesting additions. And when it comes to a green yellow wisdom, you're looking at Nami cards, you're looking at obviously Nico Robin cards, Shirahoshi cards, and like a Fishman stuff. I didn't see, honestly, a whole lot of things that just screamed out at me that said, oh, this is going to be busting this deck. So I feel like a lot of this deck is going to be kind of carried by the cards that come in the EVO 5 set that this is released in. Because a lot of the wisdom cards, well, they're okay. I mean, Nico Robin and yellow cards are some of the best Nico Robin cards. You got the one that takes life and can't kill it, and that's always going to be a staple you're going to want to bring into it. And you got the green cards that have some of the really good Nico Robin cards. And some of the Nami cards if you want to search for Straw Hat. But looking at most of the cards, I was like, it doesn't seem like there's some amazing secrets yet. I haven't found one yet. Ms. Parker says that the links were allowed here. Yes, they are. All right, cool. Thank you. Please disregard, delete if not allowed. No, it's fine. I open it up in a separate window. That way I don't get spammed with, like, you know, some unsavory type stuff. I try to, as small channel as I am, I don't really expect a lot of people to try and get me banned just yet. All right. Final rankings, final game. Is anyone surprised? I'm not. Muggy Luffy, Rodor, Zoro, and Sanji, obviously. Wings the captain. And it's for real, let's be real. All bosses, good to see you. Nami, Trafalgar Law, Shanks making the top 10, and Nico Robin, you better be in the top 10. I like that. Carrot, that's a nice one. A good fan favorite here. Usopp and Dracula Mihawk. Where's Tony Chopper? Did he fall off the top 10? Tony Chopper fall off the top 10? Oh, wow. I didn't think I'd see the day. Carrot replaced Tony Chopper. That's insane. On the worldwide ranking, yeah, let's see what we got here. All of them together. Is anyone surprised the main character of One Piece is our #1 winner? Cherub, he's 21st. He's 21st, I believe. Let me get down. I want to see if they go down that far. But Cracker, congratulations to the Cracker fan out there. I'm proud of you. Not surprised. This doesn't even look like it changed that much. Port Gossier's got a lot of buff, and so did Crocodile. Still no Tony Chopper. Wow. I gotta say, guys, Carrot being in the top 10 in the US, I see you. I see you. But I've been in one not to judge, so I will not judge. It is. It is. I see you. I'm not judging. Just know I'm watching. Let's check out this list. Brain Burger says, notably for the Robin leader, the large majority of the Robin cards aren't wisdom, including 7 cost. Oh, really? I guess that makes sense. We'll judge. She's, I will judge. She's 15. Thank you, Braindead. I mean, yeah, you go. You could judge. I told people I wanted to be a non-judge free, but thank you. Thank you very much, Braindead. I hope you I appreciate some support on there. I'm watching you. Carrot did make it to top 18. Tony, there he is. There he is. 13. Tony Chopper. My boy. Making it up there. Let's go. Happy to see it in the 13 spot. Boa makes sense. Sabo makes sense. Uda makes sense. Roxy's back is growing. That is really cool. You would not expect that. I think the release of the manga of all the information from him, let alone now that we're seeing some animation of it. Yeah, that's not surprising. Loki, this character, as soon as I saw the panel for this thing, yeah, I saw this guy being a top one. And let's hear it for a boy. Let's hear it for the boy. Cracker at 21. You mad lad, you did it. 900 manga sales and you were able to do it. I'm so proud of you. 21 for our Charlotte Cracker. All Boston says, yeah, very excited though for the new Robin leader leak. Same, All Boston, same. Only Do I says W10 100 of the top 100 particular characters. They're getting all new cards, I believe. Also Google Cracker World. Yeah, here it is for you. All there for you, Only Doombot. Let me get down here. I want a Barto leader. Same here, Jayfree. Where's the Barto leader here? The Pancake says, dude spent almost 10 grand. I know, right? Just to get Cracker in the 21 spot. That's insane. Dolflamingo, awesome. Okay, Perona, Eustace Kid, Buggy, Marco, Brooke, Frankie. Here he is. I was like about to look for Frankie. Nefeltari Vivi makes sense. Kuma, you gotta up those numbers, boy. I love you. You need to get up there. Charlotte Katakuri, Smoker, Bethem, Rob Lucci, not surprising. Still one of the better villains that he's ever fought to this date. Edward Newgate, very good. Kobe. I'm actually surprised that Kobe hasn't dominated Newgate. We haven't heard much about him in a very long time. No spoilers here, guys. He's dead. Like, so, I mean, if you haven't figured it out, where are you? Shaking my head was it's kind of crazy to think that it took 18 sets and finally get a leader of each Straw Hat crew member. That is kind of crazy. Is it shaking my head because I think Kobe should be higher than Edward Newgate? I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm just saying that, like, there's no more story to tell. Like, even the rock stuff seemed there. Brooke at 27 is kind of low in my opinion. I agree with you, Only. Like, it got, like, some of the Straw Hats I feel like should be up there a lot higher. Especially for how much story they have left to tell. Izo, awesome. Kuzan, Ben Beckman, Silver's Rayleigh. Yep, here we go. Get the duel up here. Where is Scopper Gabon? Where's the shut up from my boy? Come on. It's Goldie Roger makes sense, obviously. Where's Gabon? Dragon at 69. Nice. St. Figurlin Shamlock. Really? You're even on the list? I mean, you're Shanks Light, bro. I mean, come on now. Basil Hawkins, Tashigi, Pauly, Alti, Helmeppo, X-Ray, Koala, Penguin, Monet. Where's my Gabon? Did I skip him? Oh god, we're getting close. He might not even make the list. Hongo Bongo made it before Gabon? Stussy. Hey, Ivankov running at 100. Congratulations, Ivankov. I'm proud of you. All right. If you were a new player, who would you play? Honestly, I always give the same advice, Jay-Free. Go for red. It's the most rewarding. I want you to get some free wins. I want you to have some fun playing. I don't want you playing anything that's too complicated. So if you are a new player right now, the best bet for you to get some easy wins against just about anything, Porcosti Ace red, Sabo red, maybe even Turtle Red. You could do really well with Newgate. With just the package of Newgate stuff, you could do really well. Red deck is always just one of those decks that is always going to have like just this really fun, easy go matchup where if your opponent like stumbles in any way, you're going to win. So learning the game this is the best way to learn the mechanics. You're not playing too complicated. You're not overwhelming yourself with all the different functionalities, the 2-card combos. You're playing basic strategies so you can learn the math, learn the basic like pace of each turn, and kind of learn what other players are doing while still getting to be able to squeeze some wins in there so you can feel good about yourself. I don't want you playing something complicated like this and like going 0-3 and unless you've got the fortitude to understand that you need to be a really good player at this deck, and it will do well. It'll reward you for being a good player with this deck. But if you're not very good at the game, this deck is going to punish you because you're not at the level to play this deck at. So stay away from the more complicated decks if you possibly can. Learn the format. I think Yamato is a great first-time learner. Amazing deck, very simple, ease the ground. But there are some easy decks. Stick with red for the most part. Pugger says Gabon didn't make the top 100. That's crazy. I know, right? What is going on? I'm gonna do a quick search just to make sure I didn't miss it. Where's my Gabon? In this year? Oh my god! He didn't even make top 100. Scoffer, what are you doing, my man? How you gonna let Gecko Mori win after you? How you gonna let Basil Hawk? Oh, I swear. Did Scratchman a Pooh beat you? Did a Pooh beat you? Okay, no. Pooh's down there somewhere. Oh man, if a Pooh would have beat you, come on. Gaimon. Marguerite has had like 2 sentences in the manga. What are we doing? I think she said 2 words. What are we? 1,000 Sunny. I mean, yeah, that's worth it. I miss the Going Merry. Quality. I think a lot of these make sense. I like Tashigi up here. You would think this one should be up in the top 10 as many times I give her an SP. Like, can we get another SP Tashigi? I feel like we've been in a drought here lately after every single set. We need a Gabon leader. Yes, we do. Yes, we 100% do. Michael says, how is Carrot so high? Wasn't she in an obscured side character? She kind of was, but Michael, all I can say is I'm watching them. I'm watching them. I don't really want to go into details. I don't want to go into that. Really. You know what's up. You know what's up. If you voted for Carrot, you know what's up. I'm watching you. All right, let's go into some more card reveals. But seriously, this looks so good. I can't wait to see how this plays out. 4 life leader, who cares? All the characters you play, if they try to kill them, congratulations, you gain a life. That's awesome to turn on a stick. That's phenomenal. Frankie is finally getting a leader, and I cannot wait to see all the stages that come with it. This is gonna be fantastic. I think it's finally, after 18 sets, we are finally gonna be getting all of the Straw Hat leaders, and Frankie finally getting his at Water 7. This is so cool. I love it. The stage counters are 3K counters, which is really cool. It definitely makes sense considering stages, while very powerful in the game, you could only have one, and you can't attack with them. Yet we'll see if they release some cards where your stages can actually attack. It would be really cool. But that, and yes, just like Jay Free is saying in the chat, super. Let's get to that alt art real quick, because that is an amazing alt. Wait, where is it? Come on. Where is the super? What? Where is it? How's this not in the reveal? This is the official channel. Where are we at? Oh man, okay, well the alt art's out there and it looks amazing. I guess we'll get to it, but the super alt art is amazing. And thankfully the voice actor hasn't died yet, but man, God bless you. You did a wonderful job. Those who don't know, the Japanese voice actor sadly had to retire for health reasons, but still, phenomenal person. Saint Guko, so that means we're getting Celestial Dragons. This is an angle. I do like characters that don't miss leg day, I guess. I mean, if you're out there, never miss a leg day, guys. Never miss leg day. It's important. It's critical to your health, well-being. Like, Don't miss leg day, guys. But saying Goku's effect is not bad. I think it's kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. For those that have the emu decks, keep it around. There is a good chance that the emu decks are going to be very, very playable within the package of the Celestial Dragons we get with this. So really looking forward to seeing how this upgrades the emu deck going forward here. And we'll see where the cards go. But this looks to be, honestly, is probably just as powerful as with now the capability to ramp to get to the 10 cost a lot faster, which was probably, in my opinion, the only weakness that the emu deck even had. Now, it doesn't come with a free stage, but if you can ramp out there and get there faster and get to that cycling 10 cost, that deck's going to be very, 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 very powerful, especially with all the people playing removal cards. Nico Robin finally getting a manga. My favorite scene. Powerful message this one here is I want to live. Great panel here. I love where they got all the panels here and some of her greatest hits out there. Well done, and I'm glad she finally got herself a manga. If your character will be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may rest this character instead. I love it. And a turn set to one of your Water 7 type characters, the cost of 1 Dawn, set is active. Oh, and up to 1 of your Dawn is active. This is power creep in a nutshell here, guys. Used to be characters would get the restand, and now you're getting actual Dawn on top of that. So, I mean, this is Uruj and Zoro on a stick right here. I'll restand myself and a Dawn. Let's go. Super strong. And we got the awesome art here for Nico Robin from the awesome Heroines. If you guys haven't watched it on Netflix, please check it out. It's a very good episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. This art I definitely will be chasing. I don't know if I'll get it, but I definitely will be chasing. This looks so good. Your turn on play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less with wisdom. So we're going to be able to play out a wisdom character. So good. Love the art. Love the show. Was a phenomenal piece. I thought it was definitely heartwarming. And showing that the extended universe of One Piece is definitely where I see the game going. I'll talk about that right before I go on break, after we get done with these releases. But I do have a comment about the people with their comments about what's happening to One Piece. Saint Shamrock has been revealed here. On KO, you may trash 1 card from your hand, play this character from your trash, so it's basically an unkillable object. Every single time he dies, you just bring him right back. Activate main once per turn. If this character was played this turn, play up to 1 Holy Knight's God type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your trash. Porter, you're in the chat. This doesn't say, it means my turn, right? This means my turn. Like, I know how we had to get used to all the new Linland stuff that specifically said only during your turn on play effect. The activate main is what limits it to just your turn. So you're not putting some weird double play here, because you can't summon on your opponent's turn. You can't activate abilities in your opponent's turn like that, not unless it says opponent's attack or something. All right, I'm just gonna go with that. If Porter's on the chat, he's probably left. It's fine. Yeah, this is like, honestly, I'm glad it does do it this way. I'd be a little disgusted if the on KO trash, so if they KO'd it on their turn, you brought this back and then activated this ability. I'd be like, come on. Not only do you get this back, you get something else back. Talk about an unkillable object. You'd have to like Kaido kill it, but even Kaido doesn't kill it. You'd have to, what's the event? Like play the Black Vortex and then kill it. New 10 cost Sengoku, Dawn -1. Play up to 1 Celestial Dragon type card character with 6,000 power or less from your trash. There you go. I do like this ability. The fact that you can basically get rewarded for returning things. I think that there's some room for the Yamato package in here. Honestly, I don't see why not. It's 12 cards, sure, but the Yamato package is pretty strong. It already trashes a lot. You're just getting an added benefit for playing the Yamato, and you get the 8 cost that just is impossible to remove. It has unblockable on top of it. Let's go. So, a little interesting. I'm wondering how many people are playing the Yamato package in there. Mini Miri, on play, draw 1 card, then add up to 1 Dawn card is rested from your Dawn deck. There you go. Activate main, you may rest the stage, go up to 1 of the total 4 of your leader or characters rested. Oh wow. Okay, so it's the Tony Chopper effect, but to anything. Neat. Yeah, it gives Rest of Dawn to your characters. That's kind of neat. Good for the Frankie deck. And the Mother of Nico Robin out with another card here, because I think the old one will definitely see some play. On play, you may trash one card with trigger from your hand. If your leader is Nico Robin, draw 2 cards. Okay. Yeah. Trigger, play this card. 2K counter. Solid. And Wisdom. Solid. Don't some Newgate and Rocks say activate main, but you can't use it on both turns? So the way that some of those work is like on your opponent's attack or on your attack. That's where I was getting confused, because I know most of you guys at home that are reading the text, you're like, duh, guy, look at it, it says activate main, can't only do it. Like, I just wanted to make sure, because there's been a lot of new subtext of way the rules and cards work, where I've gotten very accustomed. I'm sure you guys at home have gotten very accustomed to reading things. The on play just means on play, but of course they got the new specified on play only on your turn kind of stuff. And then you have the a lot of stuff from Rocks where it's like on your attack or on your opponent's attack. They activate that ability where you can like discard a card to get plus ability there. There's a little bit of complication creep. It's not entirely complicated where a person who can't read and understand English or understand the context of the card that they're reading can't discern what's happening. But there is some complication to it. There is some new things where it's not so easy to look at the top 5 cards then put it on the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. It's not the same if you take one card at the top of your life and put it on top of your deck and put it on top of your life cards. Your opponent trashes one card from your hand. Like, it doesn't have that paragraph of text that we all just quick read because it does the same thing for all the characters. Now it's getting a lot more complicated, which is why I was telling people during the pre-release, especially the people I played, read the cards. There's a lot of mistakes people were making because they weren't reading the cards, and I want to make sure I got that right. All right, before I go on my first break here, when I come back, I'm going to go over the market watch. I'm going to tell you guys what's happening on the market and my surprises, honestly, and predictions of what's about to happen. But before I go, I did tell you guys I want to talk about the extended universe that is One Piece. A lot of individuals that were getting this card game around set 9, set 10, we're talking about how long is One Piece going to survive? Can it actually be a top 3 card game that survives like Yu-Gi-Oh, survives like Magic the Gathering? Can it actually be a card game that can survive the time? Because as we know, while there's a lot of card games out there, most of them fail. It's sad truth. Most card games do fail. If you look at the history of how many card games and TCGs have been made over the time, there are hundreds of titles. Gundam has failed like 6 times. Dragon Ball Z has failed like 4 times. And those are just the big names. We're not talking about names of IPs and sets that you've never even heard of. Naruto had a trading card game out there. Some shows that you were never attuned to, the Saturday morning cartoons, failed on landing. We have indies and individual people doing the GoFundMes and stuff like that just die due to lack of support, lack of interest, lack of care from their creators. Truthfully, with the way that this game brings in money to Japan, with the way that this supports their economy and the strength that this IP has overall to the Japanese economy and just to us as a whole, as a favorite, I think the extended universe is exactly why this card game is going to be living well beyond the conclusion of One Piece. We all know it's a couple years away. We all know it's coming. We all dread to not have any more content to watch, but let's be real. There's so much more story to tell. And that's what's going to be carrying this game. There's so much more interesting things to do. They've shown the successes of the one story with the girl and the different purview of the Navy showdown, the Navy headquarters showdown, the epic and I'm losing my name in that chapter, but you guys know what I'm talking about, where they introduce like every character into that and seeing the opposite side view of it. More importantly, how long can the PAL World TCG survive? That's a great question. I'll get to that in a minute. But seriously, the card game, I don't see it going anywhere. I see it being the top 10 contender. I think if they play the cards right, pun intended, and they do things correctly, they're going to be outstanding. They're going to outpace Magic the Gathering, and they're going to become one of the best cards games out there. The best card game and the value, they're the best card game, and making sure the game pieces are affordable, and you're getting some great winner pieces. They're doing better and better with constructed and tournament play. They just get better every year. With that growth and that success rate of that constantly getting better, I honestly foresee these guys making it national TV and becoming a part of some major channel on YouTube, and I'm not just talking about like YouTube, I'm talking like Fox News or your like ESPN or something, like honestly become like this top, if they do things right, they could be like this top entertaining channel and its own that just gets people into it. So I do have a lot of faith in that, and I hope that with that it also carries up some of these other TCGs that are a lot of fun to play and deserve your attention if you can afford them. But when it comes to Pal World, honestly, so long as Pal World keeps winning, I think Pal Worlds can survive. The Pal World TCG, for those who don't know, did drop out. There was a lot of people who got to play it in Gen Con and got to test out some cards. I've seen some gameplay. I've been able to try to learn the games and mechanics on my own because, as you know, I like to play card games and I want to see what it was like. It's incredibly fun. It's incredibly fun. There is some good value in it. It's only on eBay. Nothing serious with TCG Player. I think Pal World has a lot of potential. But when it comes down to it, it comes to my 3 undecided things that you have not seen from Pal World. We have a collector's market, congratulations. You have a pseudo player base. You don't have any tournament organization play. You don't have enough to do with the promos and stuff like that yet. And you haven't done anything to really ensure the solidification of your name brand on the market yet. Until you do those 3 things, the card game's not safe. But if they have a good team and they start having some bigger tournaments or more store tournaments with promos, they have some more RCQs like your regionals and stuff like that, and pro qualifiers that kind of like give the competitive side, and you start doing some stuff like Pokemon did for the collectors out there for those really special art cards that shouldn't impact the pricing of your base rarity, you got yourself a good money to make. They won the lawsuit and they still win it today, and they win it in the video game world. Guys, Pal World could take it. Jay Free says, when is OP17 prices going to be realistic? Well, that's what we're going to talk about when I come back from the break. Jay Free, stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Humro Pie. I'm your host Jimmy D, and we got a lot more stuff to cover. The events just came through. We just got over talking about all the new card reveals because yes, we have new card reveals after just getting our hands on this amazing set that is OP17. All the lottery cards are out there, and I have some amazing news, but I'm going to tell it after. Apparently there's an ad break going on right now. What bad timing. I should have let that go through. Let me know when you guys are back, or if you guys are out there. I don't know if you're going to even hear me saying that. I'm just going to wait for this thing to end. But regardless, I got some great news for you guys for tonight. We do have a box to open up tonight. We're not opening the whole box. This is the community box. This is the packs I give away every time I go live. So if you guys had join, you're sitting out there on YouTube, you're sitting out there on Twitch. I've got a great amount of people showing up for this thing, and it's looking really good tonight. And I gotta say, I still got 30 seconds before I can say it. But I got some great news for you. We got some awesome stuff to go through. I got some stuff, so some do's and don'ts in limited. I'm going to talk you guys through how to build some limited stuff. I'm going to showcase the decks that I have built for this format because I was able to successfully build all three. Thanks to the amazing community that Lifelink Games is. We have so many players that are out there that are just tossing cards to help people complete their decks. And it's one of the best things I think that you yourself, if you guys are out there in the ether, should also try to cultivate as a community to get people into the game. When you got new players out there, you have bulk, you have extra, you've got your 4. Start helping other people get out those cards, guys. Help everybody else get their 4 copies of everything they need, 4 SRs of everything. If you can get the secret rares, I know those are a little bit harder to get and sometimes really pricey, but if you can get 4 SRs, 4 of the rares, for the most part, you can play just about anything in the format, as well as buy the starter decks. Get at least 2 of each. And with that, it's really not that much of an investment if you think about it, because we are going to talk about the prices in the market and what's been happening right now and the surprises that I've seen right now for the prices, and where I'm expecting to see some of the prices go and some of them to go in areas I don't like. But now that everybody is back and the ad break is now done and over with, you can thank my girlfriend, because she told me that with all these new people coming to the chat for the first time and checking this channel out, I should do 4 packs tonight. So on her suggestion, we're doing 4-pack giveaway tonight. So if you have some friends and you guys want to tell them about it, this is going to be a good chance for you to win a free pack. You can only win 1. You can enter twice by entering on YouTube and on Twitch. So you can get 2 chances with your name on the wheel. But you can only win 1 pack each night that I play. And that means I'm giving away 4 of these packs from this fresh box here. Fresh box. That means all the hits guaranteed, not been dug through, ready to go. Whatever we give away tonight, I'm hoping it's gonna be huge. But let's get Sermon. Thank you for the exclamation point knowing. Get yourself on that list, guys. Get yourself jamming that button, exclamation point join out on either of those things, especially if you're new. And this is your chance for absolutely nothing to you. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for returns. You guys want to support the channel. I love you. Appreciate you. Those that do always know I'm out there, and I always look out for you guys. I'm always trying to come up with some new stuff for you to say thank you. But this is just for joining me and helping me with the algorithm and keeping that chat moving. So of course everybody out there can see that stuff, and then the Twitch and YouTube will finally recommend me to people. So that's your chance, 4 packs. I'll announce that again when I come back for the last break, where we talk about all the content. The last section of my channel today is going to be going over the do's and don'ts of the limited, some of the lessons learned, some of the things. I'm going to show you guys what I opened in my box. We'll talk through it, and I'll tell you guys like some of the things and strategies that I got from this that may not be helpful anymore because the releases are over, but will be helpful in the future because the rules that apply will apply across the board. So without further ado, let's get into this week's Market Watch. All right, starting things off, we've got the Market Watch for the newest set, OP17. One of the first things I want to say out the door is I am absolutely shocked at how fast the market corrections occurred here. They're not complete, but they are so much sooner than in the market corrections that I've seen on a FOMO market than any set before it. Most sets for 2 weeks, and there's always a rule that we have at Lifelink Games, we don't take new cards, we don't take buy-ins for 2 weeks because we let the market go. We do it for 2 reasons. 1, we don't want to screw people over, and we don't want to get screwed over. We don't want to buy cards at a high value that we know are going to drop, and we definitely don't want to sell cards to people that are at this ridiculously high price, because we're not trying to take advantage of you. We don't really want to push the FOMO on you. If you feel like this is giving me something to invest in, absolutely do it. But we try so hard not to sell the singles for at least 2 weeks to protect the player base from themselves. FOMO is a real thing. It's fear of missing out for those that don't know. It drives you to spend money because you think that you're just not going to have a chance to get these cards. And I promise you, most of these things are going to drop just a little bit further than what they are now. But I will say, as far as pricing goes, this stuff really self-corrected itself within days of the pre-release. The prices in here, well, I think we can look at some of these for the market gains on here. Like how quickly this thing started off here. I have not seen a chart like this fast overcorrect itself. When I saw this thing at the 289, I was like, there's no way people are paying 289 for an alt-art leader. That doesn't make any sense. 289 is a price you pay for old stuff that you can't get anymore, that's completely sold out, where the boxes are impossible to get. The boxes are going for thousands of dollars. The value of the item to which to ratio for what it costs for me to open the product versus what I get from the product is so significantly high. The price of the alt art for a leader would be somewhere near $200, $300. Off the rip? No. And I'm glad most of you guys didn't pay this. And I'm glad most of you, like the people that are working with the market, got it down to a fairly reasonable price. This is still too high for a new leader. Now, this is an anniversary set, so the market will not behave the same way. The market is not going to act and behave as every other set. Most sets, an alt-art leader will drop anywhere to $50 to $25, depending on playability. 50 in the high end if it's playable. People like it. It's going to stick around there, somewhere in that range, like a $10 range different from like 40 to 60, somewhere in there. That's where these things settle at. That has been every single set since OP01. And in back in OP01 through OP04, there was even cheaper. Like the alt-art leaders were going somewhere like 10 to 25 in the high end for leaders that we're even seeing play. But Jayfree says I pulled the 09 alt-art leader. Yeah, and I'm sure the alt-art 9 leader, if you want to pull it up and send me a link, that thing's probably somewhere around, I'd say around $60 at this point. Around, because it is a little bit older, so it should be on its climb upwards. But for the most part, it's 130. Okay, I mean a Luffy card makes sense. All Ronor Zoro Luffy cards, chase cards, stuff like that are always going to go up high. There is an additional rule that I hadn't yet got to, Jayfree, but it usually talks about like the overall pricing for cards is going to go based on favorability. I mean, you really want to like a roadmap for what's going to be like your price of your cards. Here's your roadmap right here. They produce it every year. Luffy is going to be, of course, the priciest out there. Your Ronor Zoro, of course, out there. The Sanjis, Nami and Nico Robin always push prices up here. Trafalgar Law does for many, many reasons, including the wife of Oda herself. Port Ace always gets pushed up there somewhere, and Shanks, obviously. Yeah, this is a good value look to see what cards are going to have a higher price tag. Tony Chopper has always been one of those cards that surprises people. Like the release stamps are going for like $15-30. Like just simple stuff, because Tony is almost always a common. And it does have SRs and rares out there, but almost every set's always a common. And that, if you get a stamp on it, it'll go for ridiculous pricing. It's insane. So if you're in this top bracket here, you are going to have like bracket favorability is what I call it. These are going to be the things and indicators for the cards with those characters on it are always going to go pretty high. So look out for that. But Michael says, that is beautiful. I need the Yamato. Yeah, absolutely. And says that Luffy manga might not go much further down. Price seems reasonable. Actually, thank you for bringing that up. That was the next thing I was going to talk about, was this Luffy here. There are 3 cards in this set that are just going to keep going up, guys. There are 3 cards that will consistently keep climbing to the points where we're going to see numbers we've never seen before. This is one of them. This Luffy leader right here, incredibly difficult to pull. Incredibly, it does place, I believe it takes the place of a different manga in that slot. There's essentially 5 mangas, so if you want this particular leader card, it has a harder hit rate than most of the other the mangas out there. With that being the case, and it being Monkey D. Luffy, this thing has a ceiling of anywhere in the 20s, 30s of the value train here. Like this in itself it, like, this is pretty much settled, guys. This is not really going much anywhere else. I think maybe you'll find some people that are just trying to off it to get a quick buck. You'll see like the sold price here. This was someone who was just trying to get rid of it to get someone to buy it real quick because they don't have time to wait for the market and to find the buyer that has the cash, that has the, there's so many things when you're in this high value market that you don't realize are so much more difficult. There's tax paperwork sometimes you got to pay out. There's finder's fees. There's like, you got to go to the right convention. You got to find the right person. You got to find the right buyer. You got to buy the person that has it. They have to find the person that has the money to buy it. The limited market of people that can pay these thousands of dollar prices for cardboard is not huge. It's not a big giant market of wealthy individuals. When it comes to the 20 and 30s, there are people that are using these as alternative assets for the asset class, which is why these things are getting up to these ridiculous numbers that you and I can't even fathom paying for a cardboard. But this being a successful card game, a successful IP, and having a lot of liquidity to it, the asset class are buying these things to hide their money from the tax man. So you will see a lot of that stuff start to grow. And this, amongst what Jay Free was just talking about, and I think that we don't even have any sales for these guys yet. That's how incredibly rare these things are. But the Monkey D. Luffy EBO4 SP and the Roxy Zebek XP. We don't even have a price for this thing. This thing, if it behaves like Goldie Roger, will be at 30K. We know that this is more popular than Goldie Roger, so it's going to be higher than 30K. The pull rate for these things are so incredibly high to get these cards that the chances of you getting this card at all are the lottery ticket that I'm talking about. It's insane how expensive these cards are. I think Roxy Zebek probably sits right along even at the 20 to 30,000 with the Goldie Roger card because its popularity, and this Monkey Luffy just absolutely craps all over the value seat. This is going to be one of the highest chase cards. These are the ones that are just going to keep going up. These things have settled. This is incredibly low. If I had $8,000, I would buy this at $8,000 in a heartbeat. The SPs right here have been growing down to their preferred level. If you guys know anything about the way these SPs usually go, Bubble started at 1,500 and now has shrank itself down to about 800-900. So if I was a betting man, the SPs have tanked at the bottom. They've bottomed out, guys. This is it. This is as low as you're probably going to be able to get these SPs because, again, they are incredibly difficult to pull. They're incredibly difficult to get, and highly desirable with characters that everyone likes playing, with cards that are like absolutely must-haves in some of the decks if you want to play them. So Buggy being a popular deck, that this is probably going to be the bottom for Buggy here. Teach is still seeing a lot of play here as a deck. I don't know about this particular Teach, but the Teach is still a very popular deck to this day. And $600-700 for an SP, and it does seem crazy, Jay Free, but it's really not based on the current market trends. This is actually quite reasonable based on current trends. Like I'm flabbergasted it got down here. These things started near $1,000. I don't know if it's gonna have, yeah, it's not gonna have a market watch here for you. This thing started somewhere near $1,000-1,500 over the weekend and slowly crept itself down into $774 and pricing. The same thing with Teach. Most of these SPs were in the $1,000 range, which no one can afford, no one was going to buy, and the market corrected itself because no one could afford and no one was going to buy at those prices. Now, can you get people to buy at these? Absolutely. Will these keep going up? Abso-frickin-lutely. These things are going to absolutely go up through the roof, and if you have the money, this is the lowest you're probably going to get these cards at. So do never put these on credit card. Do not put yourself in a financial situation of harm. Never put yourself in a place that you can't get out of. But if you are lucrative enough, if you saved up the money, if you are capable of doing so, this is your best buy window, because these cards are just going to be more and more unaffordable. As someone who learned from the Tony Chopper manga that I wanted really badly, it just grew. It was unaffordable at the time, and it grew itself into the complete unaffordability range, where I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get that unless I become like some super streamer. I'm never going to be able to afford that Tony Chopper manga. Jay Free says, Bondi better start those printers, right? I'm going to go again to my credit card debt. Please don't. I definitely, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you how to spend your money, but I definitely don't want you getting stuck with credit card fees and paying 3-4 times the sticker price that we're talking about here, because the interest rates are absolutely atrocious, especially in our market. But good. I'm glad to hear, Jeffrey. Yeah, please live within your means, invest where you can, save onto things. But when it comes to these cards, these things have bottomed out. The alt arts here, I think this one pretty much has bottomed out because it's an absolute staple. This card's insane. It's really good for any mono red deck out there, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this card in the future. So 50 for this is actually pretty reasonable. It might drop down about to 40, but this is actually pretty reasonable for this particular alt art. Shiki, I think, is a little bit high because this is just a niche deck. It only fits in one, so this will probably drop a little bit lower than this. Not much. It's very close to bottoming out. The mangas, I think, are going to have the weirdest fluctuation. I think that it's very difficult to develop. I know that they will go higher. I know that they will eventually become like these ridiculously expensive cards that you get graded and have the 5-6 time multiplier. But based on current sales of these multi-manga boxes where you have like 4 or 5 different options for your mangas, those have a tendency of going up and down trying to find their buyers. I saw the Sengoku, like the admirals from the last set, go as high as 17, go as low as 900, then back up to 15. The market was absolutely insane with it. I think they settled somewhere around 1600. If I had I wish I had the window open for you guys, but I think they settled somewhere around like evening out around $1,600, which is to be expected for a manga price. But if you're looking at the mangas, like, this is just a market you're going to want to watch very carefully, because these prices are so finicky as vendors go out of their way to try and find buyers for this. You have things like market manipulation, because there's so few of them out there. People will sell them at a cheaper price to incentivize people to sell theirs cheaper so they can buy them cheaper so they can sell them later for higher. It's a game that people with a lot of lucrative cash and moving money like to play. It's not a game I enjoy. I think often it's almost as bad as rug pulls, almost. But all they're really trying to do is incentivize people to sell their cards for dirt cheap so they can get it dirt cheap and then maximize their profit at 21 or so or more. So when it comes to these prices, you got to be really careful, like where the sales came from, how many of those sales occurred, what was going on, were people buying amongst themselves. You'll often see someone pay for the price once and pay for it again minutes later, so it's like they're buying each other's cards to kind of manipulate the idea that that's the going rate for it, just to get some sales on there, which is kind of a risky thing to do because you are paying taxes, especially in TCG market. You will have to pay taxes on that. Very, very careful at a game that they like to play, because they see the profit that they gain from doing that being much higher than the taxes they're going to pay. Jay Free says, listen, if I was spending that much to get some of those golf clubs, yeah, right? Seriously, you get probably more use out of the golf clubs too. Should I just buy Whitebeard singles? 100% you should. 100% you should, Jay Free. I love the comments, and please don't stop them. But I love that you're just getting to the point where it's like you're jumping to the next topic that I'm going to be getting to. Don't stop your comments, please. I appreciate it. I really do. But I find it funny because it's like you're following my train of thought of the next thing that I want to discuss. And that comes down to your baseline SPs and your, SRs and rares. So alt arts are going to be the thing. We'll get to those in just a minute. But as I was talking, your SRs here, drop prices, these are phenomenal prices. They probably will drop a little bit lower than this. They're probably going to get around the $5 range. But again, remember that I told you this is an anniversary set, so they're going to behave differently. This is getting to the point where they're either at their lowest or they're about to be within the next couple days. Be at their absolute lowest sale price here. These sale prices at $5-6 is not bad. You will get your money back. You will not be losing your butt. You will not be out on the street trying to sell yourself to pay for the debt you put yourself in for buying these things. These things are pretty much settled to a good price most of the time. Like if you were talking about where was I thought it was cards like this, where I told everybody from the last set, like, get 4 of this right now, because this card's definitely good. I think it's phenomenal in all green decks. But this is where we normally see these SRs land at, like just under $1, right? Most of the time, for every single other set except an anniversary set, the prices of the SRs and rares are going to be under $1. And this is the market where it's like, oh, I want to buy now because this is where I can afford it. All the game pieces are there. You should be getting 4 pieces of everything from all the sets, and this is where you would want to buy. The problem with the World's Strongest is how markets behave. the rarity and the price of your card will often reflect the overall sale price for the box that you're buying. I want you to take that in. The box price overall to what you would have to buy for this box will determine the overall sale price for the hits and include the SRs and rares. This is, well, this has happened every single anniversary set, let's be real. It's happened, but because it's an anniversary set and we already have boxes at $400, and I don't know, is this my box one? I usually have a box one open. I think this is it. Yeah. For the most part. Those who don't know about some of these boxes, like some of the older ones are kind of crawling up here in value here to like $649, $650. This is ridiculous. Oh, that's a big bundle. But most of the boxes after the pre-release set go down to about 200 on the low end. No, gotta go the opposite direction. They usually settle around 200 and then start climbing themselves back up. This is the last anniversary set, by the way. But 2 print waves definitely helped this one get that price down a little bit lower. But most of the boxes will settle themselves around 400 or $200 to $300 after the you know, the wave of the demand basically drives it. And when it gets down to $200 to $300, especially for the newer stuff, I might be able to find it in the next window, to be honest with you. Like 279. Ezra C. What was the last set? What was the name of the last set, guys? When it this, what Royal Blood was it? 2 Legends at 240. What was this called? I got it right in front of me. The Time of Battle. Let's see if I can find it. Time of Battle here. Yep, 221. Yeah, market price around 221. This is what's driving your boas and your rest of the, no, where'd it go? This is what's driving your boas and the rest of your cards into like these really cheap prices here. Why did 09 Treasure Rare drop like crazy? Demand. It's just, and 9 I think was an incredibly easy set to get if I remember correctly. 9 got printed to the ground. What was the name of 9? It was I pulled 3 of them. Yeah, could be another reason. I'm if it was luck, I'm awesome. I'm glad for you. But was this 9? No, 8 was this one. 9 was the 7 Seas, right? I believe that it's like there was a crazy print run, Emperors of the New World. Okay. Let's see. Kami, Royal Blood. Where'd it go? Was it on the last page? I know that Time Booster. Go back to 3. Sorry, I'm skipping around here, guys. I'm trying to find the price here to like kind of explain to you guys trends here. Let's see. Who's the captain? Here, Emperors of the New World. If it's in a higher price range, I'm kind of surprised the Treasure Rare dropped significantly bad, because Treasure Rares are not that easy to get. That's a 671 box. Wow, that is kind of surprising. This being 671, the Japanese are always a cheaper price. If you guys are looking at this going $93, that's always Japanese. They print enough for the Japanese people to a great extent. It's actually in most overseas countries they love buying Japanese because there's an easy product to get. The English versions of the boxes are near impossible. They don't print enough in English. So. SP wanted Blackbeard at least. That's a really good one. The wanted posters are really good. Those will keep going up in value, by the way. I love the new art style that they introduced there. Yeah, I'd say honestly why your Treasure Rare is just dropping is just demand. Demand seems to be low in the character. That's all that really comes down to it. If a card doesn't behave as a normal should, and like its rarity ranking, it's all based on character desire and like viability, what people are moving and what they see. It's Zoro? Treasure rare. What am I missing? Let's see. Where's this one gone? That's still 55. Zorojuro. Popularity of the purple decks kind of went out there. Let's go. Treasure rare. Oh, this one's just gonna be the amount of printings of it. Where's the treasure rare? Oh, there it is. Yeah, the biggest problem you're having, it's got this many printings. That's the issue here. This just has way too many printings of the same card. You've got this version of it in the SP, which is gorgeous, by the way. You've got the regular starter deck here. That was incredibly easy to get. Like, this was a flooded market card because it was so good to easy to get the starter deck 18s. It's just the printings, and it comes down to it's like the treasure rare it's like treasure rares are just above alt arts and about the same equality of your secret rares. The name itself should have been lifting this up. I'm actually kind of surprised it's as low as it is. But it's due to the amount of printings here. If this was the only printing of this card, it would be sitting somewhere near this one in the SP. It was like 120 a week ago. Dang. Gotcha, should sell 2 of them. I'd hold. Always hold. Hold! Hold the line. Do not sell low. Never sell low. Hold the line. Unless the game is going under and it's going to get, like, the game is, like, dying and no one's playing the game anymore. Hold! Do not sell low. Do not panic sell. Never be that person. Michael says, I got some of the nice Riftbound returns and had to do tax verification for selling them. Yep, makes sense to me. Guys, there's a lot of like different taxes you guys don't realize that happen in these top end sales. Like that, the tax man will take half your profits. Makes me wonder why these guys that are playing the scalper game are doing what they're doing. Next thing I want to talk about right now, the box prices here are pissing me off. I'm hoping secretly that Bandai has wave 2 and 3 in mind, where this would be legitimately the best set to overprint. Hands down, print this thing to the ground. You will scare every investor bro. You will scare every single one of the scalpers. You will scare everybody who invested high on these boxes right now and lose their butt on it. And you will scare them to the point where you will kick them out of your TCG. It's what Yu-Gi-Oh did just recently as they tried to jump out for those alt arts and those secret cards for those. Yu-Gi-Oh printed that product to the ground, made it absolutely worthless, and the guys got out in a heartbeat. We need to do some damage to these scalpers. We need to really start doing some damage to these guys that are really starting to annoy me. Got a little story for you. We have 2 local game stores outside of us. Not dropping any names, we have 2. Both stores decided instead of selling these boxes to the community, they didn't want bad reviews because they were going to be selling at this $400 price. They didn't want to get all those bad reviews that they've been getting because they, especially one of them that only sells at market. Only. No, I'm not name dropping. Not name dropping. The drama that we've had with those guys already has been real. These guys like to play dirty. They'll do stuff to try to take my channel down as weak as it is. They'll do, like, these guys are very, very dirty people. But I'm in the area. They do deserve it, Jay Free. You're 100% right. But anyone who wanted to do some Google searching around where Lifelink Games is can figure it out for themselves. It's not that hard of a Google search. And if you go in the Magic app, guess what? It's in the radius. So, but I'm not name dropping them. I'm not here to just like, I'm just want to say that I'm extremely disgusted at these 2 stores that didn't get much allocation because they don't host events. They don't host these things, so they're just a store getting these products. They only got 2 cases, And instead of trying to sell them to the community so we would have more product available so we could play the game, or they could, I don't know, build a community by selling them and selling them at affordable prices, because that's where community comes from, is from affordable pricing of boxes. You don't get new players selling them at $400. You get them by getting closer to MSRP at the 125 to maybe 250 range. 250 still seems extreme, but at least it's reasonably affordable. It's still too expensive in my eyes, but it's reasonably affordable. You are pricing your community out of your game and the search of profit. If you have no community, when the bubble eventually bursts, and trust me, it will, you will be left with nothing. You will not have a player base. Everyone will remember you for trying to take advantage of this market. They'll remember you for siding with the scalpers. They'll remember you for screwing them out of their own favorite game, which your sole purpose as an LGS is to cater and harbor and foster a community. Your job is to create an affordable, safe, and fun experience for those to leave their houses, come and enjoy a game that keeps introducing socialization to the rest of the community. Your job is to cater to those people. When you sell at the scalper prices, you justify the scalper prices. You're chasing the profit now for a massive loss later. This has happened time and time again. It has happened historically twice. Pokemon, the most recent time that comes to my mind, where stores were going under when Pokemon stopped printing, because they put all their eggs in that basket and they thought this bubble would never burst, and they didn't have any player base because they sold at a price that none of the players could afford. They sold to the whales. And let you guys know right now, there are not that many whales to buy a $4,400 case. There are not enough. There's not enough people in today's market that can afford that price, and eventually you're going to run out of people that can afford this price, and these things are going to sit and rot. And Bondi can come through and print this thing to the ground, left them holding the bag, you will kill off at least 50% of the butthole scalpers that make this game unaffordable. It is not the crypto bros that are the problem, even though they do scams. The scams are the problem. That's not what I'm talking about. The problem is the freaking scalpers. The guys that buy from people willing to sell it at an affordable price and then try to force you to have to pay $400 for a brand new box to play the card game. This is not reasonable. This is not feasible. Every company out there that comes with this card game knows exactly how much the TCG gamer market can afford to spend on a box. That is why they create this thing called market suggested retail price, or MSRP. They create those margins because from their research, they know the most amount of people that will want to play or can get into the game could afford the price at that to stay interested and keep the game alive and going. If you price the people out, refuse to sell us your boxes that you got allocated for because you're going to, and I quote, lose money when you're already making $40 to $60 before taxes are there. You're already making $40 to $60 profit on each box you buy. And in two cases, that's 24 boxes, straight profit from the MSRP. But to you, you're losing $4,400. I don't know if you guys seen on Twitter. I didn't pull it up there, but I had the Twitter guys that were trying to pretend like running the pre-release things at the price that they had to at $35 per person. And they had to give away 6 packs, and how much they were losing because they were selling at the MSRP rate that's mandated by Bondi. They were losing so much money because they should be selling it for $4,400. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. You are the problem if you're an LGS and actually enabling these prices. You're chasing the profit despite the customer. The customer will remember, and when the bubble bursts, you will be left with nothing. I've been with Lifelink for the longest time. We were selling these things at MSRPs from day one. We always knew that it had to be something to help curtail the audience and make sure that we hold box tournaments to sell to all people so they get it at MSRP. We hold special events. We only sell to players. We recognize names. We've created a community that says, hey, if you look like a local, we're going to give you specialized treatment. We're going to give you these special prices. If you play the game, you support the store. In return, those customers come back and they buy singles. Singles at high prices like the ones you're looking at now. Those people come in, they buy drinks, they buy snacks, they come and play in our events, they sponsor our events, they come and play on the charities for the charity events that we've done. They come out for our store little parties. These guys come out every single time, every single week, dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars on other product, on other things we're selling, on sleeves and binders and toys and Gundams and everything else our Star orders. They're buying the things in mass. And you know why? Because they know that we have their back. They know we, as an LGS, are going to support them as the player to play the game and keep it affordable for them. It's working in spades. Our player base is in the hundreds, and we are firing most of all of our games and events without any kind of sweat because people trust us. We can pretty much sell any new game out there and find a player base for it because all the people at the base that we have here in the Charlottesville area trust us to have their back and not rip them off. Trust us to sell them a fair price. Trust us to not try to scam them out of the value of their cards. And through that, we fire events. Little note about those other two, they don't fire events. They barely fire some of the events that they do hold. They barely have a player base, and they complain that they don't have a player base. You have no room to complain about not having a player base when you have literally priced the player base out of the game. You have no room to complain. The MSRP is designed to tell people what the normal average citizen can afford to play your game. Keep it alive. When you sell here at this ridiculous price that is literally... go ahead, Jeffrey. I appreciate you. I'm not getting in the middle of that. Again, too much drama. But like, I got to tell you that story sometimes, guys. Like, they killed 2 of my channels. These guys are ruthless. But it's absolutely disgusting that you pay into it. I've seen people, and the other thing that really gets me is they'll sit there and say, well, you don't understand because the scalpers will come to us and sell us a product, so we have product. And I'm sitting here like, you just realized that you saved that scalper from getting out of the game. Because you bought the cards at a percentage less than market value to sell at market value. That person basically was saying, I've been on Facebook Marketplace, I've been trying to move my product and I can't, and I've got the credit card payment coming up and I gotta afford the credit card payment, so I'm gonna turn in some of my boxes at a reduced value price to you as an LGS because I know as a seller, I'm going to lose money at like a 70%, 80% sale, but it's still higher than what I originally paid for it, and that'll help me pay the credit card bills. And if you did the same thing that we do, which is if the product's fresh on the shelf, we're not buying it from you. We're not going to buy this box at a sub value of market price and put it on the shelf for our customers. That's just not going to happen. Because we know what's happening here is you're hurting, you're desperate, you're trying to off this product, and we're not going to help save you because your existence in this game is unwanted. You are a killer of card games. You're a killer to the community. You are pricing people out for your own sake of seeking profit, and in the meantime killing the player base that would rather come in but says $1,200 if I want to buy the cards to get that I need for the set. No thank you, I can't afford that. As a new player, your mind would be blown. Jeffrey says they sound like they should go out of business. They will. They honestly are. They're running out of options right now. They're going to run out of business. I foresee it within the next couple of years. They'll be an online only store, hands down. They won't be running anything. You just limit to how much you give out, and that is that's the rub, Jeffrey. That's exactly what we do. We limit to how much the product we give out to the players. It's why we host the box tournament I'm about to cover here in a little bit. The box tournaments are a good way to make sure the players get the box at the MSRP price, and everyone gets a chance to buy at the lowest price there, and we give it all to the players. Perfect. We ran out of cases, we ran out of boxes for sale real quick because we hosted that tournament for all of our local players, and we didn't have, sadly, we didn't have enough to hold for more. But that's how you get the product out to as many people as possible, and make sure that they all can get into the game. Jeffrey says Bondi should just send me the product, the bestseller at $100 boxes. Yeah, right. Same. All Boston says box tournament was very fun too. Loved seeing everyone's polls. My own on that. Yeah, honestly, all Boston. Those games, the box tournament is one of the best things we invented at Lifelink Games. For the last several years now, we've been doing this box tournament, guys, where we get the box MSRP, put like a $15 increase on it to pay for the packs that we give away. Those are for the event. You play 3 rounds. You buy, we're going to get into it here in a little bit, and I'm going to open up some boxes and show you what I got from my box tournament. But what you do is you give everyone a box that, like, the tournament's like 140 bucks, right? This is $15 for the extra packs you're going to give away, all the extra stuff, because we give away like deck boxes and all kinds of stars. And everyone gets their buy a box promo and all the rest of the stuff that they usually get. You get a box at MSRP, you get to open it, everyone gets to see what you get, they get to celebrate with you, which is awesome. It's one of the funnest things about this game is celebrating your pulls with other people. Like, celebrate and show people, like, oh, I got this awesome thing, and having people super excited for that awesome pull you had. That's the greatest invention of this game. Like, everyone's kind of excited for what you got. You build a deck. We've changed the rules after this one. It's rainbow only, and I'll talk about that, why we had to change that rule here in a little bit. But it used to be you'd play with one of the leaders from the set, or Rainbow Luffy, and you took the chances based on whatever you pulled for whatever you want to play. Everyone plays in it. It doesn't matter. The wins kind of matter because it gets you one more pack, but at the end of the day, it's one pack, so who really cares? You get to just play with all the cards. You get to play. You get the flavor wins. You get to see all the new stuff, the mechanics, and the way it was designed to be played with internal to the set itself. And everybody gets an affordable box. That's a player. Because if they're a player, they're playing in the box tournament. If they're not a player, they're not playing in the box tournament. And the best thing is you're forcing them to open it. So they don't even have a choice to walk off with a sealed box. Absolutely not. No, thank you, sir. Everybody gets a chance. And that's how you spread the wealth. That's how you build a community. That's why we have the largest One Piece community in Central Virginia. By catering to the players. And the rest of you stores, they're doing this market nonsense. Stop it. The bubble's about to hit. You will be the casualty. And I don't want to see LGSs go away. I want to see people having places to go to play these games. I want to see people propping this game up and it being more popular and growing in the entertainment space and having hundreds of thousands of people like Magic the Gathering that are watching all the Commander shows and all the rest of it. I want to see those things jump up. I want to see those things go all over the place, guys. But you can't do that if you price people out of the game. And don't chase this ridiculous short-term profit for long-term loss. Help build the communities. Fight against these frickin' scalpers. Bondi, stop selling to Walmart. If they're not going to behave like Target, don't frickin' sell to them. Go to the LGSs, enforce your policy, work with stores that are selling at MSRP, reward those stores with more boxes, and really start tanking the rest of it. And please print the crap out of this set. Please print the crap out of this. You are going to have so many wins by printing the crap out of this set and creating a new trend that the scalpers are afraid to get into. Because the rest of us that are waiting for the price to get to the affordable price, after this weekend, guys, I don't think I can afford anything anymore. It sucks. I won't be, I can't. I know you guys can't too. $400 a box? Are you kidding me? There's no way I can afford to do that. Get up to caught up a chat here, sorry. All Boston says, yeah, for the most of us, I wanted to just from what I was missing a couple of SR play sets. Nice. Yeah, I mean, after a couple boxes, yeah, it's like 3 boxes, you're good to go. But $1,200 on market right now. It's undoable. I pulled the Rayleigh hockey SP. Oh, congrats, Side Chair. That's awesome. Those hockey, I wanted one so bad. I just wanted one of them. But I sadly wasn't able to pull one. SignCal563 says, you mean you didn't sell for $400 a box? Yeah. Sign? No. We didn't. We have been selling at 125 for as long as the boxes last, which is not long. We're about to completely out. We do set boxes aside for prize support, so there's every time you come to the store to play the game, we always have packs to give away. It's usually like 1 or 2 packs based each person for a $5 entry. It's great. But we will be putting those boxes away to make sure that we always have prizing until the next set comes out. But after we sell these boxes, that's it. Unless we get another wave, unless we get some more help here. But no, and we sell it fast, obviously, because we're selling MSRP, but we sell to customers, we sell to players. And we might get some people that squeeze in and get a box from us and get it on market. It's a shitty, crappy thing to have one person get away with it. But at the end of the day, our entire player base is taken care of. And that's what's important. Cherub says, very grateful that there's a store that treats players right, because I just came from as all bad, just like the store you were talking about earlier. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Sheesh. No need for the flex. I pulled nothing and haven't ripped 17. No need, haven't pulled. Okay, yeah, I pulled noting, haven't ripped 17. All right, you'll get there eventually. Hey, Jay Free, you can get something free tonight. We'll find out. Sidekale says, yeah, I was able to get 3 boxes for less than what these other shops are selling at. Belong to the great LGS. Yeah. And my only other option right now, the Flame Through, it's going to have a pop-up booth. It's going to have these things at MSRP, so I'm going to try and pick them up at the Flame Through. If you guys want to go to the Bondi Card Fest in January, it's going to be down in Florida. That's going to be an opportunity for you to get it. If you are near the New Jersey area, the Bondi store always sells an MSRP. If you're near Texas area, there's a Bondi store that sells an MSRP, and I believe there's one in Chicago that sells an MSRP. Please correct me in the chat if I got those numbers wrong, but I believe there's only 3 official Bondi stores that always sell. They sell quickly, but they stock up when events are happening, so you might be able to get there and get a single box at an affordable price. They know. They understand what's going on here. Sidecal says, pull the SP buggy. Congrats, bro. That's huge. Great pull. All bosses, I'll take that Luffy leader Loki and 10 cost Shanks alt every day of the week, right? Seriously, great polls, all bosses. That's fantastic. Let's see if I missed anything here. Michael's here. Pokemon is gutting scalpers right now. Check out the Destined Rival situation. I have actually seen the Destined Rival situation. I've been slowly watching the Pokemon community on the side. I think that Pokemon is finally coming around and realizing how to handle these scalpers and get them out, because Magic 30 is not looking fun. Or not Magic 30, Pokemon 30th anniversary is not looking great. Was it Game Scalp and the rest of those nasty businesses are already ruining the game for Pokemon vendors out there, and a lot of people wanted that set. But it will be printed. It'll be printed multiple waves. So if you have patience, please be patient. And we will be selling at MSRP. So if you guys get a chance, you want to be a member, get in there. Sign says, yeah, and the pre-release events got me 2 Diamond Dawns. Two. That was one of the things I didn't get a chance to talk about. The Diamond Dawns. This is my Humbro Pie sneak suggestion of the week. The subtle way of saying I think that you really should hold on to those things, because I feel like those are going to be a sneaky hit for you in the future here. Diamond Dawn is the first time we've done that rarity. It does take the spot of the Gold Dawn. There are 3 Gold Dawn, which makes it even harder for you to pull those Diamond Dawns. And it provides a unique look that's actually legal to play in the game. Gold Dawn is becoming something of kind of consistency, where the PRB Gold Dawns are still special. They're still valuable. They're still great. Now that they're putting it regular in every single set to have gold around the base diamond there, they're getting kind of common. Like the Goldie Roger kind of shank itself down to like $5-6 Gold Dawn. The ones with the anime panels on there, or the manga panels, sorry, on there are kind of like dwindling down to like $10-15. These diamond ones are a lot harder to pull than people realize. And when people are trying to complete their set of 10, I'm thinking this one has the strongest, and even though it's Rocks Pirates, I think this one has the strongest point to really trying to turn the curve back to the PRB pricing of Dawn cards and those little special printing. I truly believe these things can get up to about $100+ per card as things start settling and people start realizing that they're really difficult to pull. The gold ones will probably sell themselves around $20 around there, because they're just pretty frequently, they look gorgeous. I love them. But they'll probably go down $20 into $15, and mostly not much lower than that, because the boxes, like I said, are going for $400 at an affordable price. Sign says I pulled the gold 4 Emperors Dawn too. Oh, nice. That one's really cool. I like that. Sign says the Diamond Dawn is already. Oh, is it really? I missed that. I thought I would already drop down. Sorry, let me pull it up. I see the golds. What am I missing? Market is down, but demand, I think, is at 120. Demand at 120 seems very adequate. Where am I missing this? All right, there it is. Okay, 115. Yep. Oh, they say the 76 on market. We'll show you. Not trying to debate. I know the prices are all over the place. This is like one of their lowest selling prices here. They're putting market at 76, and that's probably because it was selling there twice. This is that that dangerous one. This is the one that I tell you, you got to be careful. There's only like 2 sales like this. It's either someone trying to offload it real quick, or it's someone trying their best to like sell at a low price to a friend to get people to sell it at that price so they can buy it and then resell it higher. Early market's very difficult to tell. Very, very difficult to tell. Wow, that's got a high ceiling. And not very many available too. Look at this, 8 listings total. And after the first 4, yeah, you're already in the $200 range. Market hasn't been flooded yet by everybody's singles yet. Give it time. Give it at least another week to find out where this thing goes. I can easily see this thing settling somewhere in between these 2 totals here for the Diamond Dawn. Easily see it landing somewhere here because they're incredibly hard to get. So, All Bosses says, hey man, I just need someone to do a trade with me for my Luffy leader for an alt Kaido leader. There might be some people there that have it. I know that Brandon was able to pull a Kaido leader, so he might do it for you. I don't know if he needs a Luffy or not. He got like almost all of them. I'm trying to do the same. Yeah. I'm actually trying to off my Rocks leader because I won't be playing it. Let's see. Did I have anything else I want to do on the market watch here? And the pricing. Yeah, these are getting closer to being settled prices, but again, I think it's going to behave a little bit higher than normal. A little bit higher than normal. These alts are definitely going to tank. These alts are way too high. Except for the secret rare. Is that secret rare alt? Yeah. Secret rare alt can sit up pretty high. This will sit here pretty I think this is actually settled. This new era, this is where this is going to settle. This alt art here will probably sit around this price range because they are secret rares, remember. This is alt arts of secret rares, so a rarity on top of a rarity. But this alt art, way too high. This alt art, way too high. There's like 3 different alts of this guy already. Nico Robin could set around 64 because she is a hot desired character. This is way too high. This is way too high. This is way too high. But I wouldn't see it drop more than 20 bucks on each one that I said that to. Leaders will definitely drop, but then go back up, as we've seen constantly. But when it comes to these prices, I don't see a significant drop like we usually have with the older cards. Like the 51 cents for the SRs and whatnot. It's just not going to happen because of the price of the boxes, guys. I'm sorry. But using this as a reference for the silver Luffy that I was talking about earlier, Luffy's going to be more expensive than this, hands down. Hands down. Luffy's going to be more expensive than this. Yasop at 15 is actually right. Sign. That was one of the things I was really kind of surprised at, was how fast the market correction happened with this one. I would say right now it's not its lowest, but it's definitely as close to its lowest, and it's happened at a rapid pace. So maybe next week when I talk to you guys about this again, we might be looking at numbers that are just like crazy cheap. Just absolutely cheap. Sign says, I'm going to Shanks, Red Green, and Mihawk. Cool. Good call. I like those decks. I'm surprised all Shanks 10 cost is as low as it is without being such a good SR. It is a good SR. I think but you got to remember it has 3 different printings, all bosses. It has a manga printing, it has an SP printing, it has the regular SR printing, and then it has the alt printing. It's got 4 different printings, which means there's going to be more of these out in existence than normal. Like this is still too high. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sign says I'm going into, I'm sorry, it says no, the Shanks does. Yeah. Lol, what did I get into Roger's 30K? Yeah, that's what happens when they do an anniversary set and they do a special printing, a one-of-one printing. That 30K is what happens. Oh, he was responding to all bosses. Thank you. Thought that SP was a different Shanks. I thought it was restand. Oh, okay. No. But this is where I was telling people that this Diamond Luffy here, this is going to be a $45,000 card easy. Easy. Incredibly hard to pull. I hope we pull it. I hope I send it out to one of you guys. That'd be insane. Clip that, get famous. Give you guys a $40,000 card. Would you come back to my stream if I gave you a $40,000 card? All right, I am going to get into a beautiful card, Dream Hit Luffy. Absolutely, bosses, I agree with you. I would drive there. Thank you, Castog Garmin. I would welcome you. Absolutely would welcome you. Make sure I get that hand delivered. Sign says, seen someone pull it in this weekend. Oh, you really? I've yet to see it. I'm happy. I've been looking on social media to see if someone pulled it yet. I've seen like 3 God Pack pulls, but I haven't seen that yet. Oh, I hope that's another thing that could be in here. It's a nice little God Pack here. Yeah, I did. Some of you guys might not have been paying attention here. I'm going to get into the decks here that I'm going to be playing. I'm going to talk really briefly about what I built in the coming format because I have put all my decks together. Then I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go over the events of the lessons learned from the pre-release, the cards that we pulled, some building strategies for you all out there that will be applicable in every future set. Don't worry, just because this already happened doesn't mean it's not viable. The information stays the same across the board. I'll tell you how to build a curve. I'll tell you guys how the works, and then tell you guys my experience and what happened. I'll be glad to have and talk to you guys. I also have a couple of videos I want to show you from lessons learned for new players out there, that mistakes I really don't want you making as a new player to get you into a better advantage when you're going to these competitive tournaments. There are certain things that have been fundamentally true at 90% of the time, and if you're aware of them and you behave this way, you're going to win more games than you lose. I promise that. Say Jay Free says, is this a good time to buy other sets? Honestly, yeah, to get the singles would be great. Jay Free, I think on certain boxes, if you can afford to, yes, because they're just going to keep going up. Sealed will always go up. The way sealed works in every single card game, so long as it's a viable card game, the more of these are bought, the more of these are opened, the less of these are available. Supply demand. It always goes up. This is just a guaranteed, you're always going to go up investment, so long as it's a viable game. So if you can afford those, cool. I always recommend you buying 4 pieces of every single game piece, especially now from the last set. Try to get 4 pieces of all these sets, please, because they're at like less than $1. And make sure you can play, so when we get another set that plays on those cards, you have them available to play. And you're not chasing Electric Lunas for $25. You're not chasing Cavendish Rares that were literally 15 cents for 25 bucks. Don't be that guy. Sign says, I got a sealed One Piece Day 25 like 2 weeks before the pre-release announcement. Nice, congrats. It's huge. I can't wait to try to get some of that stuff when I get onto the flame through. All Boston says, I've stalled out 2 Linolins with Kaido on Sim already and made them deck out. That's hilarious. I like that, All Boston. I wish I could see that gameplay. All right, before we get into my decks and everything, and Devs, I see you. Thank you so much. I do want to say that according to my girlfriend, because there's so many new people coming to the chat today and chatting up here, I am going to be giving away 4 packs. So today only, as a special opening of today's box, we will be giving away 4 packs. You can have 2 chances to win, one on YouTube, one on Twitch. Only can win 1 pack, but 2 chances to win. I'll just go to my YouTube real quick, hit that, and join me in whatever your preferred form of entertainment is. I don't think I get commercials yet on YouTube, so if you want to avoid that, you can go on YouTube. I also don't get paid on YouTube, but so I don't know. I don't know what to recommend. Just be you, just enjoy my content. But we're gonna get to the decks and show you what I built and where I'm at stage 1 of this new meta here. In just a second. All Boston says they can't punch through Kaido 10 cost blockers and 9 cost King blocker. I had 4 2 of each down. Yeah, a 12k and an 11k blocker will do that. All right, right, so the 3 decks I decided to build for OP17. The question was asked earlier, what decks I'm building, what decks I'm favoring. Right now, these are my 3 top decks that I'm looking at. Elbow, Red, Ace, and Shanks Green for all my decks. Should this be Mihawk? In all intents and purposes, I think you're right. It should be. Absolutely. Mihawk has a better advantage against 2 different decks. The Shanks deck has a better advantage of the other 2 decks. And I like Shanks. The problem with the way the green decks are working right now, the Shanks package needs to look more into playing Shanks-like cards. Whereas the Mihawk gets benefits of saying, oh, I can play with the 10 cost Shanks with no issue. For Mihawk, the really only real addition I see them adding into the deck is this one. I don't think you can. I know you shouldn't anyways. I guess you can. This Lucky Roo is insane. This Lucky Roo, like, I don't think you guys understand how incredibly insane this is. When a person has a 12k blocker, you could turn off all their attacks for the entire turn. If they're desperate to try and sit up against a blocker wall or trying to keep their blockers to stay alive, you will stall the game out with a Lucky Ruin field. You do not need to worry about them trying to alpha swing into you. You do not need to, and you can swing with them all day. All day. They choose as a target, sack and rest something. On your opponent's attack, you can rest one of their leader characters. If they're sitting behind a wall, you've essentially told them they don't attack me. And this is really only really good in red hair because it's a searcher for red hair. And you got to play a big red hair package. And let's be real, Mihawk doesn't play a big red hair package. But this card's insane. I'd still swing anyway as Shanks on 10 Dawn because I know that the new Shanks. That's fair. That's fair. That is something that you are going to have to consider. You're probably going to have to start swinging and start going for game. That is something mentally you have to be prepared for as well. Knowing that everyone knows that this is coming, I think people are going to be playing a lot more aggressive against green decks and not try to wall up. I think for the most part, this deck really just says, don't wall up because I will punish you. And because this deck screams, don't wall up, I've also added a Roro Zoro into this. I think this is actually a really good add for this deck. Mostly because it can stall pretty well and protect this card pretty well, and there's not a lot of removal for 9 costs or higher right now. There's not a lot of good ways to deal with this card on the turn. And because you're telling your opponent not to wall up because they fear this drop, you got this guy. Which is absolutely insane. With other pieces to restand like Smoker or some of the other pieces to help you restand some Dawn here, you can feasibly in Shanks get even 2 attacks on this one at least, which can end games. The biggest reason I wanted to add this Roro Zoro to this deck right now is because there's no double damage that works well in this deck right now outside of Luffy, but the Luffy is designed for a multicolored leader to get full benefit. So essentially it's just a 6 cost 8k body with double tack. It's not worth it in the stats, and 6 costs right now are very, very, very susceptible to removal. Wrong one. 6 costs right now are like the biggest targets on them right now. You've got the Gravity Blade, you've got the new Gum Gum Giant for black, or whatever the thing is, Giant Fist like that for black. You've got this in Shanks. 6 costs are very, very vulnerable to two for one vulnerable like attacks. So that a lot of people are going to be playing this new format. So the 6 cost Luffy that can do the double attack, because I want double attack with how much yellow's out there, you can't really rely on this package here to stay alive very long. You have to lean heavier on the 7 to 10 drops here, given that most people are going to be doing this. You also have the choice of doing things like this by playing characters that can protect your board. But remember, these characters are also very easy to remove on their own. There's a lot of cards that just have on play, screw this card. And then you can play this card. Play an on play, get rid of this, then do this to get rid of it. Most of the protection cards are pretty cheap outside of the one I like in Portcost the Ace, which we'll get into in a little bit. But there's going to be a lot of, in the early games, the 2 for 1s, because it is the easiest way to capitalize in this game to winning tempos. It works in limited, it works in regular. If I 2-for-1 you and you don't 2-for-1 me back, I'm probably going to win that game 90% of the time. Hands down. The tempo is just too difficult. Most decks are playing excellent cards, excellent strategies, excellent stuff. They're pretty much even across the board for the most part. The biggest difference makers are, can I 2-for-1 you and you not 2-for-1 me back? If I can do that, I'm probably winning the game. It's kind of like what Lal and Beppo does to a degree. Freezes a character from attacking, gets your leader into a high attack range, so it's very difficult to swing into. But the biggest reason I'm playing Shanks, it's not because I believe that it's better than Mihawk. I still agree Mihawk is better overall. It's well tested, it's well proved. I like the Shanks package. I like what the Shanks package is doing. I like having to be able to kill something with a simple common like this, especially in a deck that likes to rest things. I like dropping blockers and popping things. I like things that like help me get rid of the protection cards. This is one of the cards I'm keeping because there are going to be so many people playing protection, so I could drop this, rest their protection cards, and swing into it with leader and get them off the board. That way I'm set up for playing a 2-for-1. I like Lucky Roo. I think this card's insane. I like Yasop, does a pretty good job of what it does. Gives the rest set up to one of your characters at the end step so you can protect them. Really good. I like Shanks. I think having this guy out at 7 cost is insane. I like red Shanks, so why wouldn't I like green Shanks? And I can search for this Shanks. It's super good. It helps. It adds to the theme of the deck. You can rest something. You can keep it rested with leader. And on top of that, you can reduce their attacks, which honestly is like the best thing to do against black decks right now, including some red decks. Decks that favor 5k swings, oh, this craps all over them. It's a great strategy. I think Boa is still good for unblockable. It's something you definitely want to have just in case in the linchpin, and it freezes on play. It's all around green card. I don't need it. Doesn't have slash one. I don't care. This is just an all around good card. Smoker for some extra restand because I want to be able to play things like the Electric Luna or whatnot. So if I want to set things up, I need this effect on the board. Also has Banish, another ability that I think is absolutely necessary in most decks because there's so much yellow out there. You're going to want to have Banish or double attack. And since I can't fit double attack in here, I fit the Zoro in here, and I fit the Banish in here to kind of compensate for the fact I don't have double attack. I want to have answers for yellow, and I know Linland's going to be everywhere because people like to be annoying. But this is the deck list I have for Shanks. I like it. This is version 1. Lots of edits to come. We'll determine how well this plays in the sim, and the edits will evolve it as I go. But this currently is what I'm looking at for my Shanks deck. The deck I'll be playing right out the gate, though, is definitely going to be the Shanks. I'm sorry, this Porcos DA's deck. Out the gate right now for the next couple weeks. This is a deck you're going to expect me playing over at Lifelink games and practicing the hardest because I truly believe this is the best way to sneak in 3 easy victories and the Flame through before I have to start playing the really, really tough players and probably get eliminated based on luck or skill. The thing I love about this deck is it does everything I like to do and it's psychological damage to my opponent. Guys, this stuff is absolutely disgusting. The way that this thing plays out. Ace gives all these things rush. I got excellent blockers, early game plays. I can get out there. I have arguably one of the best protection cards out there because one, there's not a lot of answers for a 5 cost on top of having it like the things that get rid of a 5 cost don't often open a play for another card. So bear with me in the math here so you understand what I'm saying. If I'm going to kill a 5 cost, it usually costs me 7 or more Dawn to get rid of a 5 cost, right? There's not a lot of options for me to play something cheaper to get rid of this, then play something more expensive to do the bigger spell to remove 2 things. So given that this 5 cost puts it in a unique range that says don't screw with my characters, I'll KO and replace this. And since it's Whitebeard, of course I'm going to get it back. Very easy. This is by far the best Marco protector in the game. I love this card from the new set. If you're playing Whitebeard, you should be playing this version of the Marco, in my personal opinion. This is the best protection. Because this protection right here, sadly... Wait, I screwed that up. Nope, that's the wrong card. I need to edit this deck. That's not the right card. I thought that was something else. Pay no mind. This is not... This is not the right card. I just realized it when I was like, what's Rox doing in here? I got enough searching in here. I love this deck. I got 4 of the searchers for this ace. I love the combos here. Of course, we're playing with the new Newgate. That's going to be putting my leader up to 8k. Another thing that's going to help me with the little small aggro decks, and also help me with the big swings in the end state here. But being able to give my own leader the double attack here, and that just all the bonuses are just absolutely insane. I could drop this thing down, get my leader up. Like, I wish I could get both out. That'd be insane. But I love having this double attack out here because the double attack tells my opponent that they need to wall up. They need to wall up because they're going to be taking double damage, so they need to give me some blockers. And then you place the shanks and say, ha, you can't block. So one of the things I've been having a lot of success with in 16 meta is setting up this trap in red decks. I've been playing shanks with this combo, mind you. I've been playing 4 copies of this Edward Newgate because I love what this does. You tell your opponent immediately, you're going to have to wall up because every single turn I'm going to have double attack on my leader. So you better have a blocker. And if they spend the turn putting out blockers, you instantaneously nullify their entire turn by turning off blocker. And now you force them into basically saying, well, I had to go offense. Rivers1, good to see you. Thanks for exclamation point join. But yeah, we've got some good 2-for-1. There's some defensive spells here. Let's see, this one was a stage killer. I'm trying this one out. I don't know if this will stick around. It's a 4K blocker, sure, or 4K counter, but I'm still wondering if stages is even relevant right now. I'm just testing the waters on this. I think this is one of the best counters out there. This can kill 2 attacks, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, this is Portgas the Ace, the psychological killer. Be careful. I like the new card with this and Flamenco. Being able to reduce the attack here, because if you add the 2, you give it rush with Portgas the Ace, and then you can instantaneously take care of a threat with an 8k minus 4k into whatever you're attacking into. So it's a great rush target answer to kill up some board states. So definitely a good fan favorite of mine. So if you're looking at your upgrades for the Ace deck, do not put Rockstar in it, but do put Flamenco, Marco, and definitely the Shanks and the Edward Newgate if you can. If you thought the 10 cost green Shanks was bad, this one's extra bad because this is every turn. You basically tell them they can't use blocker ever again. And finally, we'll get into Elbow, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys are pretty familiar with. This is my take on the Elbow deck right now. There's subject to change quite a few things here, especially on builds. Ground Death, I really like this card. It's done really good wonders for me inside the Yamato deck, so I just don't want to give that card up. The 2-for-1 for the Gum Gum King Kong, just fantastic. I've got ways to take care of the weenies. There are a lot of non-counters in here, so I will be playing this for the trigger, and because when you're playing a lot of non-triggers, you definitely want to have the 0 costs in hand here. Goldie Roger is a secondary win con. I still like this. I don't like it over Shanks for 2 reasons. Shanks does force my opponent to play aggressively, and I'm playing Weenie Rush. I don't want to allow my opponent to play aggressively against me. I'm playing Weenie Rush, guys. I don't want them playing aggressive. I want them playing defensive. So because the deck wants to rush the board down, I don't want to play a Shanks that's going to punish me for playing it, because now my opponent is going to be incentivized to not defend. And I think I do better if my opponent tries to defend. And that's why I like Goldie Roger in this deck better. That's just it. I wish I could have a searcher for it. I think I'm looking into room for putting Garp in here as maybe a replacement for Julie Bonnie. So at least I can search for it. But as it comes, this one was in here because you can get the Nami, and the Nami is just a really good start to the game here. Trash a card and instantaneously get 2 cards. So a +1 on that, and it starts getting one of the better cards in here, this Protection Zoro. Like I said, it's going to be very easy to remove for the smaller stuff. So while absolutely important and dire in this format to have something that's anti-removal, these smaller ones are going to be easier to remove from your opponent. I put in Zombie Luffy in here because not only is it an enabler for the deck, I think honestly having my leader at 7k is kind of something that you really, really want to be at. So this being a late game card, if I need to stall out here, if I'm not going super fast, it's just a fun answer. I don't think it was good in Yamato. I'm gonna see if it's good in in the Sabo deck. We'll see. But I really think that like having my leader at 7K is something that's just going to be absolutely necessary in the upcoming format, especially against rocks. A lot of 6K bodies that you want to kind of like force them to have to use the Dawn for. But yeah, this is my current version 1 of Elbow. I've seen some other decks where people are kind of like leaning heavier on the Sanji side to try and draw and discard. I've seen some people lean heavier on this Brooks card here. It is an enabler for it, but it's only a non-play enabler, but also is something you can return with the Monkey Luffy and Pirate Stock 6. So I love this being in the deck. Very good enabler, and something you can return to kind of like enable the Sabo. So very good. You got any spare Kaido SRs by any chance? I do. All bossness. I can hit you up tomorrow. All right, that's gonna do it for my deck review. You guys got to see what my decks look like. This is version 1.0. I'll be testing these things out as much as I can with some of the people because I like playing the card game personally, like socializing. But we'll see if I can get some sim time someday. Who knows? I'll probably be running these things in the sim and trying it out there. I need one of the blocker and 2 of the... Okay, I can probably hook you up with all you need, ball bosses. I think I have both what you're looking for. And you know I'm always gonna help you guys out. I'm gonna take a bit of a break here. We're gonna get some hydration because I'm out of fluids here. So I'm gonna get some hydration. Reminder to hydrate yourself, please. Get ready because we're gonna talk about, of course, the events and all of them. You're gonna see me open packs. You're gonna see me open a box. We're gonna talk about all the cool hits, the lessons learned from the event, and then we're gonna wrap it up with not 2, but 4 packs from our new community box from OP17. Stay tuned and don't forget 2 chances. YouTube. I'm sorry, Twitch, YouTube. Sorry. YouTube, Twitch, YouTube. 2 chances to win. 4 packs today. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and here we are for the third and final portion of today's live stream. We're going to be going over all the box hits, all the packs I've opened, and everything that we've been doing throughout here, and some lessons learned from basically how I built my decks and things to help you guys in future endeavors as you guys go out there. I hope most of your LGSs are doing what Lifelink Games is doing by enforcing the Monkey D. Luffy only. It should only be Monkey D. Luffy, level the playing field. Don't let people bring in Sanji, Bonnies, or play with these leaders that make the game a little unfun. Start off though, I do want to say to Greg, thank you very much for that help. I appreciate it. And all bossness, good luck on the Lokis. I had to buy my 4th copy of Loki to get it. I got lucky to pull some Lokis, but I did not get all 4 of them, so I ended up having to buy them from Lifelink, and I was happy to do so. Even in this FOMO market, I was happy to give money to Chris and help him support the channel, so, and support the store. And I think most of you guys probably are feeling the same way, because when the store looks out for you, you look out for the store. That's just how it always goes. Oh, okay. He wanted it. Okay, good. I'm glad that they're able to find it. That's good. I just love this community, guys. I love how much all of us go out of the way to make sure that everyone gets the cards they're looking for to make their decks. Like, there was so much trading happening. We had close to 64 every single. Oh, I had 64 plus people every single one of the events. That was on Friday at night. That was on Saturday. We've never had all of our events sell out like this. It was absolutely crazy. We had to push people away from all of our events. We had to kind of like filter through and try to get rid of some of the known scalpers in the area, eliminate them from playing and playing through certain areas. Like, there's a lot of things that we do. We go above and beyond to try and stop the scalpers from coming by. We recognize who you are. If you're a scalper out there that is looking at Lifelink as an opportunity to try and get that price at MSRP, you should probably look somewhere else, because we do find you. We do see your guys' posts on Facebook. We do hunt you down on all your social media platforms in the local area. And as soon as we can tie your account to a name of somebody, we know exactly who we're dealing with. And no, we will not sell to you. We've done so with all the rest of the card games out there, the ones that tried it with Union Arena, the ones that tried it with Dragon Ball Z, all the rest of the cards that you guys try to come in and try to scalp our stuff and resell it on Facebook Marketplace. Nope. As soon as we see you doing it, you're no longer a customer of ours. We have no tolerance for it. I think the rest of the community can agree with us. We don't want you. Stop it. Buy the product, play the game. Now, we're going to get into what I'd say is the most profitable way to play any card game. Which is, I'm sorry, to get into the card game, which is to play the game. I kind of screwed that line up. I thought I was going to have a couple moment, but no. Guys, seriously, if there's memes going around, I'm sure you've seen some TikToks, I'm sure you've seen some stuff out there of people making a joke, but legitimately, here's the scam. We're going to buy the boxes to build the cards, and we're going to play the game. We're going to get good at the game, because when we get good at the game, we get some of those prize cards that the LGSs have. And believe it or not, the prize cards that the LGSs go for hundreds of dollars, if not more sometimes, when you win the game. So when you become good at the game, and you start playing the game, you start getting these things called serialized cards and championship prize cards and the flame through, where there's limited edition arts of these things. Then you can start getting those prize cards, just like this weekend where we're giving away that Lego Luffy that has a winner stamp on it that's going for hundreds of dollars already. Then you make some real money. Not only that, you make some friends. You meet people that like to enjoy the card game with you. You end up putting some real value back into society, because you're not only socializing, interacting, trading, and supporting the rest of the community that you happen to be building around with, but you also start becoming a part of something bigger than yourself, and stop chasing the quick profit that's going to jack up your credit card and force you to end up paying more in interest rates than you can ever imagine, especially if you don't know what you're doing as a reseller. So if you're out there, let's learn how to play the game, shall we? So starting off here, this was the first pre-release event here. These were our first 6 packs getting opened up here. Me and Brandon, I gotta say, out of the people in this game, Brandon by far is the luckiest SOB I know. I love this guy to death. I think, like, anyone who's got to talk with this guy, he's fantastic. He's an outstanding person, really fun, good sociable. He's always looking out for the community. He's always helping people out. But when it comes to luck, this guy is insufferable to a fun degree. I'm always happy for other people. I want you guys to know that I do a number to say, hey, congratulations, I'm proud of your support, because I want to spread goodwill, and I want that goodwill to come back to me at some point. You put good out there, good comes back to you. I feel like Brandon must have done something right in his life, because when it comes to mangas, he pulls them. When it comes to certain alts, he pulls them. When it comes to cards, he pulls them. The guy, his absolute luck when it comes to most card games, he pulls packs from me and pulls the actual like hits out of boxes constantly. The guy's a pack sniffer. I mean, he can find the best. And mind you, he didn't even have anything to do with these packs. He just picked these packs were just given to him. So it's not even like he had the pack sniffing capability. He just instantly, first pack, Monkey Luffy 115 SR. Alt. I think that's still too high right now for this card. I think it's going to settle itself somewhere around 60 bucks. But it is definitely like an awesome hit. And of course, he's getting out here. So as we're going through these packs and you see a sorting here, Brandon and I have two different strategies. Brandon likes to put everything in the cost count because that's how he builds his curve. So he even mixes in his SRs and his rares. I personally like to take out staples immediately outside the packs. I put the blockers in one pile, I put the 2Ks in one pile, and I put the SRs and rares in another pile. Like, these cards are cards I'm going to look at first when trying to determine how I'm going to build my deck. So I have my curve stack here, as you see here, that similar to his, but I isolate and take out cards I know are going to be auto includes into my actual packs here. Usually, when playing limited events, 2Ks are pretty uncommon. You want to get about 12 of those as much as possible to get those 2Ks out there. This set, 2Ks seem to be quite prevalent. There was actually more 2Ks than most decks even needed. So for the most part, after opening this set from Future on, I was really critical at what 2Ks I added in the auto include here. If it could fill a curve, I added it. If it couldn't, and it didn't do anything on play, I cut it, because the other cards were just way too valuable. Brandon with a Kaido SR, another good hit for them on this one. All Boss says, yeah, I build exactly like you need to see my blockers and my 2Ks on the side. All Boss says, exactly. Sign says, until you learn about deck building, that runs up the bill too. Yeah. It runs up the bill, I guess, for deck. I think you're talking about when I was talking about like the how to get some profit is learning how to play the game. But this is, guys, we're talking about Bandai. The simplest and easiest games to play are coming from Bandai out the door. Like, it is hands down like the easiest games to learn. Union Arena, Gundam, even as weird as Digimon is, it's still incredibly easy to play. And One Piece, they're incredibly easy. Let's be real. No, I want to top meta deck or design to bling it out. Oh, blinging it out. Yeah, sign. You're going to be paying a butt ton of money if you want to bling it out. I don't. Yeah, those are the people that really live in good. But yeah, absolutely. If you want to bling it, yeah, it's going to be costing you. 10 cost Shanks here for Brandon. This guy is pulling just straight heat. Out the top here, I'm still looking for a couple SRs. I got a Shiki, was good. I got myself a nice little Yasop, which is not bad. So some of these cards, the Josu's probably by far one of the best rares I pulled so far out of here for a great, quick, easy playable, because the thing is absolutely insane. All Boss says, yeah, just alt leaders and very special cards like the Regionals Nico Olivia I grabbed. Yeah, I mean, some of those, like, you get these winter cards, the winter cards you get from locals sometimes can go for like 30, 40, 50 bucks. It's insane, like some of the cards you can win out of here. Even this Lego Luffy here is still gonna be sitting somewhere around 5 to 20 bucks, and eventually it's probably, after a while, it's probably gonna shoot up into the $50 range just because Monkey D. Luffy. And the Lego is just a great collab. Let's see, I thought Brandon has one more pack left here. I'm pretty sure he does. I thought he had one left. Did I miss something? Maybe it was a box tournament that he got it in. Brandon was the one that was helping me out opening packs all weekend here. So he got a really good Shanks package in his. But yeah, as I'm going through, same process every single time, get my curve. One of the things I did start doing now recently, adding the events, because I have this rule about having 4 to 5 events per deck. So I started adding the events into their own attack, their own stack here. I don't like playing with too many events. You don't want to have too many. You don't know how much you're going to be able to allocate for Dawn for each turn, so it's not very good to play with too many of these events. They are just bricks in hand if you have to tap out for the turn. And there's a lot of times in Limited, you're going to have situations where you do have to tap out by applying pressure to the board, and those things just become dead cards in hand. And in the most crucial points is usually in the end game where it can really screw you. But from here, it's kind of like all about the curve here. I know automatically I can reduce the total count here in 2Ks and blockers. That's part of my first 40. Then I look at the SRs in here, see if there's a theme that I can grow around from or something I can build from, and start building a deck around it. But first, I'm going to be looking through all of the different one costs here. I'm going to be eliminating every single searcher that I could possibly find because searchers are dead cards. Unless you play a completely well-themed deck, these searchers, just cut them, guys. Just cut them. They're dead cards. Unless you're themed, they're not good. You're going to bottom cards you need. You're going to bottom the 10 costs you might need. You're going to bottom your SRs or the shanks you might have been wanting to pull into. Every single time you really want to avoid searchers unless you can guarantee to hit and the card you're looking for happens to be one of your best bombs. If the searcher is like 50% of your deck and the bomb is included in there, like your big win con card, sure, you can include it. Sure. But still to this day, I just have in my head to make deck building so much easier, I instantly remove searchers. All Bosses says shoot you a DM on Discord tomorrow to remind you of what to need. Thank you, All Bosses. Appreciate that. Always helps. Guys, I got a lot going on my plate. Sometimes I forget. But yeah, from there you can see that I've prioritized the 3 events I like here. These ones being good counter. This negates 2 cards. This one has an amazing trigger. And this one KOs 2, so obviously that's going to be an auto include. The Rocks D's Beck thing, it's not very good. It's just, do not play the stage unless you're playing Rocks. It's only good in Rocks. Looking at the 0 cost between the 2, because I do only want to play with 4 event cards here. So I'm going to be looking at which one of these has the better event, main event. Like, which one do I think is going to pay off more? I think I end up going with the Rocks because the bouncing a card just seems more valuable than resting. But it was kind of a difficult choice for me while building this deck. I was like, do I play this? But I only want to play 4. And All Bosses says I won one of my games off Master Saber trigger last night. I believe so. That trigger for Master Saber is insane. You got to play around that card too. It's absolutely nuts. But as I'm going through the process here, I'm now looking at all the rares, reading them probably for the second, third time. But of course, my memory is so light on this because I only covered it with you guys and maybe looked at it, glanced at once. But yeah, Jozu was absolute ad. This Kazuki Odin forced me to try and pull out like basically all of the Whitebeard cards because I wanted to have that 2-for-1. That play in itself and limited is super strong here. So now you're going to see me quickly just go through all the stacks, and anything that's Whitebeard, I'm just going to instantly pull it out because it just becomes an instant ad. Getting the targets that I can possibly pull from it and play from it. So that was like, yep, those are instantly taken out. Lucky Roo is still a fantastic card. Yasop's going to get added. I'm making sure that there's isn't really anything funky about this. This one, Trash a Trigger. Yeah, not really a big fan of that. This is a very good, Shiki's a very, very good card in this deck with Rush character, having the ability to play some cards out. This is actually pretty good. I really enjoy the Shiki. Not play cards out, but I gotta remember what it is. I know it's a Rush character, and on plays like you get like counter, like you turn cards into counter. Remember correctly, the Sweet Generals is by far one of the best life gainers in the game, personally, because it reduces the attack of 2 different characters by 3. It makes for a nice little cleanup. This can be a 2-for-1 in a pinch if you have the good right board state. I love the Sweet Generals being able to reduce the power of 2 different characters. From here, I'm just going to go for the best life gain characters, and because I have the free play Pero Sparrow, the Pero Sparrow is going to likely get to see some ad because I can free play these from my hand here to get that life gain. Late game Pero Sparrow plays could play very well, especially if you have a big mom. I don't like to have to allocate the Dawn for the attacks, but bodies are bodies, guys. The more swings that you can do when limited, it's going to benefit you greatly. From here, you're going to see me basically read the Parasparrow. I'm going to add that to the stack here. I'm looking at this guy. I like his stats. I like his anti-removal capability, so I think he's pretty good. Charlotte Smoothie with the discard card is actually really good and a nice little life gain. No, I guess I didn't. I think I re-added those later for the Parasparrows. I did want to stick to the life gain, though, because life gain was good. Get some early weenies to see if I have any enablers here. Honestly, during the limited event, this is kind of like only to this a limited event. I'll tell you that playing with these 2 costs were fine. If your opponent had to play this, it was really good because remember, this is either side. You or your opponent have a 12 cost or higher. Those things are really, really good. And you can activate their ability. So if they were playing with an enabler, sure. And I did have the Dory Broggy combo, so I did go with a little bit of the Straw Hat package here. I had the Dory Brago, live the dream, guys, live the dream, and play out the 2. I just realized I pulled 0 Yasops the whole weekend. Wow. That's not too surprised. SRs are not always guaranteed. So now I'm looking at like the best 1 cost to fill in some of those spots. Brandon's asking me if this is any good. I'm like, that's an auto include, brother. It's an auto include. This life gain absolutely can help you out in a pinch here. That life gain, I think, was like really, like, not only does it add for some potential more triggers and whatnot in the late game, but that extra card, extra hit, just, sometimes you just win by 1 life, man. Just win by 1. Right, here we go. I'm just going to count up to 50. I've eliminated most of the cards I really just don't care about here, and now I just got to figure out our 40 cards. I got to build a 40 card deck, so I'm just going to count these out. And from here, I'm just working on the curve. For the cuts, I just re-put everything here for like the questionables. What do I need? What's filling spots? What's filling the curve? I've got cards I know I want to play with, or right here, or locked up here. I know that these cards are going to keeps. And now I'm just looking at like, what can I afford to cut to get it down to 40? Cuts were not easy in this one. But I'm going to skip ahead here to show you guys my final deck list. And my final curve. So if you guys can see the curve here, I got a decent 1 cost. You do want to have something to start the game off. Trust me, if you're forced to play in the play, it is nice to have something to hear. There's always really good start for any kind of like limited event. If you can go on turn 3, go 5 and 5 if you're forced to be on the play. As most people, when they win the die roll in limited, will always go second. That's just a fundamental. You want the extra card draw. You want the extra ability. You want to get to 10 fast. Faster than your opponent. Going second is actually the benefited and preferred choice when winning the die roll. If you lose a die roll, you're going to want to have kind of an edge bringer. An edge bringer to me is a 1 cost. A 1 cost is something you can put on play, put the body out. On turn 2, you can play something cheap if you want to, but you also have the option to go 5 and 5. You instantaneously punish them for forcing you to go first by forcing them to give 1 card out of hand and likely 1 card from life. The 5 and 5 almost notoriously works this way every single time. Your opponent will go second, or go first. Oh yeah, go second. They may play a blocker, maybe. If they do, they're not going to use a blocker because they don't like doing it against 5K swings. Nobody likes to put discard a card early for the 5K swing for 1. They don't want to give up those cards, so they'll first take a life and then they'll discard a card because you attack twice. That guarantees you get 2 cards out of resources from hand and on board, and puts you ahead automatically on board to start playing a little bit more aggro on the front, because if they're putting you on the play, chances are you're probably going to have to play aggro. You're going to have to try to get underneath them as fast as possible and get underneath their curve. You're going to be more proactive than reactive. When you're playing on the draw, you're more reactive than proactive. You're trying to like counter whatever your opponent's trying to accomplish. But this was the deck I decided to go with from this night. Newsflash here to the rest of you guys. I went 2-1. Sadly, I had a really good game in game 2 here. See if I can find that one. But before we do that, I want to showcase the luck here with Lady Uzumaki, who out of 6 packs was able to pull this Monkey D. Luffy card. Manga was freaking out. We were all freaking out. It was crazy. This card was going for like 3,500 right out the gate here. I told her she won like right off the bat. You won. You won. And this person also, her husband, I just saw the ring there. Her husband got the raffle, and because she'd come out to this, they split the box. And in her half of the box, she got another one. So when she went home after the raffle box there, she ended up pulling 2 of that same Monkey D. Luffy right here. Why is that cut off? I thought I could see that. 2 of that Monkey D. Luffy here right off the bat. So congratulations, Lady Uzumaki. That's phenomenal. I'm so proud of you. Having pulled 2 of these expensive. I think they're going to go down to Richmond next week. Yeah, to see if she can get, what's the word I'm looking for? Get the actual cash for this thing. Yeah, all bosses, and then they did it again. Yep. 2 for the same person, Lady Uzumaki, knocking out of this tournament. And right there, just showcasing why, because she's a super fan right there. X on there. I remember when we did one of the championships, we put X's on everybody's hands, just to kind of like commemorate that moment from One Piece. So I'm trying to remember what lessons I learned from this game here. I'm going to be skipping ahead here for some of the stuff. I did get forced to be on the play here. Sadly, didn't have a 1-drop. Got some bodies out here. Jinbei, pseudo blocker. Just gonna set up the turn. I think for the most part, what I was trying to do is, because I did have the enabler here, one of the early starts here, I did want to get as many bodies out here and make them look like they were nothing until I could finally drop one of the big giants and make these things swings against my opponent. Most of my game plan, because I knew most of my, I was playing the Luffy package, was to put on the pressure, so swinging as much and as fast as possible was the game plan here. Getting out the Dory makes the rest of these on plays viable, and then gives me the Jinbei attacks strategy here, so I can get that pressure on. Swing again for 5. And one of the things I did learn from this format, a lot of people were playing a lot of the big bombs, which meant that they didn't have a lot of counter. If you are at 3 life, there's a fundamental rule here, guys. Attention, attention, rule time here. I want all of you to know, if at 3 life, your opponent takes a 5K swing and doesn't give you a 1K, there are 2 things likely happening. 1, they are bricked up. Nothing for counter. If they're at 3 life and they take a 5K to a 5K or a 6K to a 6K and take that life, they are bricked up. Or 2, they've only got 2Ks, and the opponent's behavior on 2Ks is they don't like giving up a 2K to a 5K swing. No one likes over countering. Mentally, you guys, like, you all struggle with this. I see it in the sim, I see it with gameplay, I see it from other videos. They hate over countering. They hate doing not just 1 over. They don't like doing that. They like to save it for a 6K swing. So when you get a 5K swing in on the 3 life and they take, it's a hint that they're sitting on 1 2K, maybe 2, very unlikely, maybe 2. But they're sitting on 1K, or 1 2K, or no counter whatsoever. And why do I say maybe 2 and plus? If you have 3 2Ks in hand, you don't care to over counter that much. The pressure of needing to over counter gets subsided because you know you have those 2Ks left to back it up. So often what happens if you have 3 or more 2Ks in hand and you over counter on those swings, what's likely happening is they have abundance of those 2Ks. So if they over counter on the 3K swing to a 5K to a 5K or a 6 to a 6, it means they have an abundance of 2Ks, more likely. Guys, these 3 life is where things actually matter. Your opponent behaves differently at 3. At 5 life, the first one is always a take, and I still argue to this day that is not the right way to play. Let me explain to you. If I'm at 5 life and they swing 5 and a 5 and I have a 1K, just because it's the only attack that turn and I can just get a free card and everybody out there says you just take it, you just take it. Don't just take it. If I can counter out with a 1K I don't need, I'm gonna counter out with a 1K I don't need. I would rather counter early for a 1K than not have the life to take an 8 or a 9 or a 10 or a 12K swing. I would prefer that life sit there and absorbed a bigger hit in the late game than just take a free 5K swing into my life points when I had a 1K I could easily do without. And there's situations, guys. You guys understand? I'm saying it's a card you can do without. You could just discard it. If they're just going to swing 5 at you just to swing the leader, don't just take it. That life could be an 8K, 9K, or higher swing where you really needed it because you didn't have a choice. And the triggers of the later game where you really want, like triggers especially, are more beneficial in the late game than they are the early game. So taking an early game trigger away from yourself is just dumb. If you're playing a trigger deck, obviously that goes in there. So pay attention to how people behave. And just because every player and every pro, and I guarantee if I had 2 of my co-hosts with me, they'd be calling me an idiot now. You just take it. You just take it. 90% of the time, just take it. And I'm like, no, don't just take it. Think about it critically, guys. A 1K now is a softer take than like an easier like counter than an 8K you can't counter in the late game. And all bosses, yes, I'd rather be in a better life spot. Seriously, it does an intimidation factor. There's other things at play that you don't realize. When your opponent sees that you have 5 life here, they're more incentivized to want to play defensive here. They're more incentivized to even want to go to even kind of go board here because this life thing seems like it's just too high of a mountain to climb. It's too intimidating. So when they see that, they're actually incentivized to go board more. And if you know that they're trying to go board more, you can strategize around that. You can play your card games around that. If they're not going life because they feel too intimidated with it, you've got them playing in your hands and behaving the way you want them to. A tall stack of life will definitely screw with the opponent's mindset. Always remember that. Sign says, "Well, my opponents attached 10 Dawn, sent him GG before I even swing, took the first life, then counted out of his last 3 swings." Oh, Sign. I've seen people do that and miss that. Miss the you don't got to climb the ladder at Sign. That is the climb the ladder theme that I tell people when I'm covering other games. You always want to climb the ladder. Go low to high. Because every single life they take is an additional counter they can counter out of. All bosses, depends on the deck. Like Kaido, I have to take the first life, and if they have the ramp event, I'm taking it because I have 2 trash. Okay, so all bosses, you're demonstrating a definite outlier. I would say that this is why I always say 90%. I don't want to say every single time. I don't want to say every single time. But all bosses is right in the Kaido specific build. You would want to take those cards because you are going to need to lose those cards to get the ramp to 10 Dawn so you can play the 10 Dawn game. That is the way that deck plays. It's kind of like in Sabo saying, you want to take the 2 hits? Yes, I do. I want to take them as quick as possible. I don't want my leader at 4K. Obviously, I'm going to take those hits. Obviously, I'm going to get rid of those things as quick as possible. If I'm against a Bonnie, if I'm on a Bonnie deck, yeah, I'm taking those hits. Yeah, I'm taking them quick because my deck benefits from it. That's outside the realm of the leaders with a particular play pattern, please. Right? So I do appreciate all bosses you bring that up. That's great. You're right, and you're 100% should do that in Kaido. For all other decks that don't have that particular strategy, that don't have that kind of payoff or need, don't take it if you don't have to and you can afford to counter out early. Sai says, I had 1 Saul and 2 Loki on the field. Oh, nice. Yeah, you were always going to have that, especially with Kaido being able to re-heal anyways. Yeah, and that is the strategy with Kaido. You're just going to heal anyway, so taking the first 2 doesn't matter. So skipping ahead here, you're going to see a lot of this like Luffy enablers. Lady didn't really feel pressure to go to my board, which is kind of weird for me. I just realized that she really didn't want to go. She just kept attacking life for some reason, which is fine. But the longer I have these board, the longer I can keep adding pressure to the board here, the better off for me. And I love dropping this thing here because I'm now trying to play around the double removal that most decks are going to be playing forward. Like getting this card out and limited, and I think going forward, you're going to want to have to mainstay some protection because we're going to likely see more cards that are going to do a lot more 2-for-1s. And in the late game, a 2-for-1 that can't be responded for a 2-for-1 will win you the game in limited every time. And I'll boss this with this good point here. The balance of life and board is key. It really is in this game. It is absolutely important to balancing how much you can afford to take swings from your opponent and how much life you have. You've got to keep those things in a synchronistic or a kind of optimistic focus here. All right, 7K. I believe this one was coming into life here, which still kind of shocked me. Yeah. Because I was wondering, why aren't you going board? I have a lot of swings.